always appreciate an opportunity to visit with and get to know the head coach of the Lions opponent each week. And this week, that's Coach Aaron Beck, Fort Worth All Saints. Coach, really appreciate the opportunity to visit with you again. And, man, thanks for making time for me.
You bet, Steve. Glad to get to catch up with you.
You bet. Well, this is a little deja vu for Lions fans, as this year's first-round playoff game against All Saints is a repeat of last year's first-round playoff game against All Saints. The Lions came up short at home 45-30. Coach Beck's very familiar with coaching playoff teams. He's in his 16th season at Fort Worth All Saints. And, Coach, I'm just curious, after all this time, Coach, as long as you have, how do you get your team fired up, ready for a playoff game? Is it a different approach, or is this just like a typical week with the game ahead of you guys?
So many cliches about it, right? As in all sports, and a lot of people want to talk about, it's just another game. Well, we kind of dissect our football season into three segments: your non-conference, your district, and now the playoffs. And of course, it's all you can tell even when you click on NFL or bowl game. A bowl game that matters, that people play a little bit differently. So, I don't think our kids will be any different than that. I will tell you, I just warmed up about 3 days ago from our playoff game against you guys last year. That's cold as I've been in a long time. And it looks like tomorrow we're going to be a little luckier than last year. Whether hopefully this is going to blow out, we'll have a nice evening, and but. You want to not make too. You don't change your schedule. How we prep during the week doesn't change. We don't change anything there. But of course, the stakes are much higher, and Grapevine Faith wants to keep playing, and All Saints wants to keep playing. So there's definitely, when you hit the playoffs, a different sense of urgency on the field, I think, that you notice, and I think that goes for coaches, and it also goes for officials. And we use the Fort Worth chapter. Grapevine Faith uses the Dallas chapter, so we reached out to the San Antonio chapter to come up and call a game, and that's kind of an honor and a privilege too. So those guys are really excited, and I'm not saying everything's perfect, but even the officiating gets better. I think when we hit the playoff level. So we're excited, and we came into TAPS, and I forget the year, but it was in the middle of the alignments. So we played an at-large schedule. We still qualified the playoffs, and that year we made it to the semifinals and lost to Prestonwood, and we were at the 6A level, and man, it was like the SEC of private school football. Lynch was loaded, and Pius was loaded, and Dunn was loaded, and Preston was loaded, and All Saints had a good team. It was a whole lot of fun. But we have really enjoyed, I don't think we talked about this last time, we've really enjoyed this 5A grouping. I'm not sure everybody's enjoyed Liberty and All Saints and Midland dropping down into it.
Right.
But quite frankly, I say this respectfully because, we played Prestonwood this year, and Nolan and TCA. Everybody, Nolan's a little bit off. Everybody else is pretty dang good. But the competition, through our 5 years in the 6A grouping, man, I have found the 5A level to be right now at this particular moment in time as competitive. Parish had kind of been an outlier for a while, and they're still unbelievably good. We scrimmaged them this year, but they proved this year they're mortal too. Yeah. And so there's a lot of balance right now. A lot of really, really good teams in the 5A level, a lot of good teams 6A level. So, we're excited to be where we are. We've enjoyed forming new relationships with schools that, we hadn't competed against prior to. And, this is my favorite time of year. Fall, the heat finally breaks, and and it, playoffs. And if you catch a run like we did last year, it takes you right up almost to the Christmas break, and it's just fun.
Well, we'll talk about that, the realignment for next year here in just a second. But, you've got a big and fast team back again this year, led by junior quarterback Keldon Ryan. And Keldon, he has almost 1,500 yards in the air with 12 touchdown passes, but he's also proven to be an effective runner, averaging about 60 yards a game. What do you have to say about his play and his leadership this year?
So Keldon, I mean, he's a Power 5 quarterback. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We've had some really, really good ones, and Keldon's measurables match up with those guys. And Keldon, coming from Keller Central, coming from public school into All Saints, it where he didn't miss a beat. He's extremely strong in the classroom as well. So, it's kind of crazy, and I'm sure you guys experience this over at Faith as well. Man, when kids like Keldon come in, or whoever joins your roster, if they get past the admissions crew, and a lot of times harder on athletic kids to get in to private school than it is, someone who doesn't come in through that part of the school. But Keldon came in mid-year last year, did the spring semester here, and for me personally, it feels like he's been here forever. He is blended in with our community and our team. He's by nature quiet and a bit of an introvert, and has been just special to watch him mature by the week, by week, by week, by week. And he's getting better by the week. He can run. We don't necessarily want him to run all the time, but he can extend plays when he needs to with his feet. And, he's a sub 1100 meter guy. So when he gets around the corner, he's a problem for our defensive practice.
Yeah.
But he's a great kid, brings a lot of energy to our team. Just kind of young man you want to coach and be around.
That's fun. Well, on the defensive side of the ball, junior Blake Robinette, your 6'4", 250-pound nose guard, and sophomore defensive back Keon Adkins have led the charge for your defense. Talk about their play this year on the defensive side of the ball.
So this is Keon's first year at the varsity level. He's sophomore. And we were talking about him today in practice, and he's like a 6-month-old lab. He's just extremely gifted, hand-eye coordination. I love him. Goofy as all get out. Great kid. Blake Robinette, All Saints Live for been here since kindergarten. And I don't know that this is a great analogy, but man, if you're walking home down a dark, rough street, Blake Robinette would be a good guy to have walking with you. He's a bodyguard type protector dude, and big physical kid, and he has definitely led that defensive line, which we're fortunate this year. We have something this year we didn't really have a lot of last year. Last year we had some big boys that had to play both ways. This year we're back into that space where our O-line's our O-line, our D-line's our D-line, and even the interior guys, the 3, the 1, they've got some guys behind them. So we've been able to roll some people on the defensive line. Our 2 losses this year to Anna and Liberty, were both pretty competitive games. We had a really good game, dadgummit, going into the fourth quarter against Liberty, and just had the wheels kind of came off on us a little bit, where you just kind of stand back and go, man, what did we do this past week to upset the football gods? Right. But those were learning experiences for us. And Blake and Keon, Keon's a sophomore, Blake's a junior, Keldon's a junior. We're still a pretty young team this year.
Mm-hmm.
We got our 5-0 lineman, Cole Edrich has been a starter on our line since sophomore year. He's the only senior we've got, the only one that we lose. So we're still kind of green a little bit.
Yeah.
And really and truly, last Friday night was the first time that I sat back and just felt like, man, we're kind of hitting our stride, and guys are starting to feel good and play well together. So, kind of similar to last year a little bit, really. We strategically play a 9-game regular season, because transferring from SBC to TAPS, we were used to just playing 10. And then if you had a good year, you're going to play 11. So coming into TAPS, I thought, you know what, our guys, we like to get out and visit colleges during the fall, especially for our senior year kids. Let's just play 9, and then hopefully, during the playoffs, if we can get to 10 or 11 or 12. Man, in my opinion, after doing this for 38 years, 10, 11, 12 games at the high school level, that's enough.
Yeah.
Even my public school buddies on that side that are fortunate to go 16 games are like, oh my God, it's too long.
Oh.
It's too long.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the setup that we have. No such thing as hey, look at the college landscape. It's blowing up and rebuilding every hour and a half, it seems like. And
Right.
while our thing's not perfect either, it's still pretty dang good.
Yeah. Well, obviously a lot of talent on your team. I'm just curious, is there anybody that surprised you this year? Anybody, or who has surprised you the most this year on your team?
Well, sadly, the young man that really came into his own this year, Thomas Wright, one of our captains, Tom's been here since kindergarten as well, tore his ACL when we played Holland Hall real early, and it's senior year, and Thomas wants to go on and play. But what made Thomas the story of the year for me was, last year mid-year, Keldon Ryan, Kevin and Dougie Dodard, Reed Wallace, Reed Watkins, Kwame Osai all came in mid-year. And then we had another young man join us this summer named Cumante Williams. Well, Cumante, Dougie, and Kevin all really accomplished wide receivers. And Thomas could have taken that as, oh my gosh, what's going on? And it elevated Thomas's game. And the coolest thing ever in spring football, those guys that came in new to the school, all said, hey, this Tom's right guy. This is the captain of our team. We came in new. He accepted us. He has competed his hindquarters off, worked his butt off, and secured that starting spot in that captain spot, by his peers. And, man, the older I get, the more gut wrenching it gets, when kids early on, any kid, I don't care what team, who you're playing, any kid loses, their season. And that's what makes sports unique, but especially football, because you only get 10 games or 9 a year, and they work so dang hard in the off season to get to those, that so much goes into it. Unless your son plays, families whose kids don't play don't understand this game.
Right.
And what I love about it and coaching in it and being a part of it is, and on our roster, we've got kids that, man, they can barely walk and chew gum. We've got some kids that might play 10 snaps a game. We got some kids that we don't start anybody both ways, but they might play, 70, 80, 90 snaps a game. Everybody's got a role. And I think it just gives a boy today in the culture that we're going, it gives a boy today an edge, an advantage that participates in football and just wants to be a part of a team. Yeah. And those kids, man, I treasure those kids on our roster. They're those are the guys we truly celebrate.
No doubt. Love it. Well, Coach, I know you have a very faithful and supportive family behind you, and I want to give you a chance to brag on them for a second. We were talking about grandkids before we started the interview, but yeah, tell us a bit about the Beck family, if you would.
Well, so tomorrow's Veterans Day, so my son-in-law is going to do the coin toss. He came out of the Army last year, awesome. So very, very fortunate for that. So my daughter Brittany and Andrew blessed the Beck family with 4 grandchildren, and then I've got a set of twins, Brooke and David. David Beck just graduated from Colorado School of Mines, played football there, had a great experience, got a great degree. His twin sister beat him out of college by 2 years, so she's been with Fidelity for a couple of years. And then, I don't know if for all of you out there who are empty nesters or who have just become, it's almost like a rebirth for Faith Beck and Aaron Beck. We celebrate date night now more than we used to for quite a while, and we're living our best life right now. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you asking about the Beck thing.
Well, I know, man, you wouldn't be where you are without the support of your wife and the family, and I know that's what give you a chance to brag on them. So love everybody's doing well, and that's exciting to hear. So, Coach, we talked a bit about this, I think, last time. I think the influence that coaches and teachers have on the lives of young men and women cannot be overemphasized. And I'm just curious, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing young people today, and how can we as parents pray for and support our kids in meeting and trying to overcome those challenges?
So I that's a great question, Stephen. I am emphatic about this, and I talk about it all the time. Whatever groups I'm talking to is, well, if you think kids are getting soft, why don't you come out to All Saints Episcopal School at 6 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday when we practice football? Because I've got a group of 85 boys that come from as far an hour away each direction, and they come in the morning with enthusiasm. They come with positive attitudes. They're kids and they have bad days, but what I mean by that is our children reflect us, and how we raise our children on the home front, and what we expect out of our children, they will still give us today, just like you and I did back in the day, just like our parents did. It's what expectations do we have for our kids? Where I hurt for them in today is everything they do is being filmed. And so they don't have a chance to make the mistakes that I made growing up that just went quietly into the night.
Right.
And so that's a piece that we're constantly, you know, I'm never going to stop saying it to them. I know it's just that repetitive message. 10 years when they come back, they'll go, man, I'm glad you said that. And I know I look like I wasn't hearing you, but I really heard you. And so I think when you use the old cliche, a village to raise a child, a consistent message in a community coming to a young man or a young lady from multiple voices is very important. And so what I love about our school, we're a faith-based school, but all faiths are welcome at All Saints Episcopal School. And it's when we talk about being like-minded, that doesn't mean, am I voting for the right or voting for the left? How do I treat people? How do I care about people? What's my moral compass set to? What's my faith component set to? Because if we cut our kids loose from high school now to college without that moral compass, holy moly, they're gonna get off center real fast. And you know what? I don't care who you are, where you are, what your beliefs are. The Via Media, the center of the road, that's kind of the place you want to be.
Yep.
And so giving kids not just that, but also, and this, I don't, we get a lot of affirmations, we get a lot of rocks thrown at us, but what I'm proud of right now in our not just in our football program, but our school, our head of school has been here 24 years. Not normal in these kind of schools today. I think the average lifespan for a head of school is about 4.5 to 5. Our assistant head of school internal, Wally Warden, he's been here 23 years. I'm the assistant head of school external athletic director, head football coach. I've been here 17 years. So we've stayed put, and we have formed some alliances and some allegiances, and we know who we are, and we're not afraid. We better be comfortable in our skin at our age, right? Because we've been in it a long time. But it's been something that has drawn our kids back to our school. And last night was our ceremonial last senior practice. We have that the first round of the playoffs. We're not arrogant enough to think that we can't lose to Grapevine. Faith tomorrow might be together. So we go through that pomp and circumstance. And I'm sitting there last night talking about a senior, and I talked about his dad. God only knows how many years ago I coached him. So we've got that. We're at that lifeline in our program, and it's just didn't happen overnight, but it's just kind of fun and kind of cool to be part of.
Yeah.
And I still come back to your question. Just gave you a long rambling answer that kids will be what we expect them to be. Kids will follow leadership. Kids follow the leader more than the message.
Yeah.
So it's important that we give them something they can believe in, and we're here for them even long after they're gone. My head high school football coach, Tim Edwards, still in my life. Talked to Tim 2 weeks ago, and I graduated high school in 1980. So, Tim was a relational guy, came out of a big high school, but he still saw something in me I might not have seen in myself. And, Tim has gone to extremes, and now I had to do it anymore because I want to do the same thing to stay in touch with me, throughout my timeline. So I don't know how to do it any different than Coach Edwards did it. And LD Bell back for me, 1976, 77, 78, 9. And following that blueprint and that model has served my program well.
That's awesome. Well, I've heard it said, people don't follow a title, they follow courage. And to your point, we need courageous coaches and leaders in our schools, and we need courageous young men and women coming out of those schools as well. So I appreciate your perspective on that. We talked a little bit earlier about the alignment. I was going to ask you about that. So you guys in Faith will be in the same district next year. So I get to bother you during district play next year, Coach. So
that's awesome.
Give you warning.
Talk early. Yeah.
Both teams have been part of 5-team districts, and next year, y'all move up to an 8-team district. So And look, at the end of the day, you show up and you play whoever you're scheduled to play. But I'm just curious, kind of what your thoughts are on that realignment for next year.
Well, I appreciate the larger district because it's getting harder and harder to schedule games and find games, and especially if you've got a program that's established and fairly decent, and that's where we like the 5A level for our athletic program, boys and girls both sides, and I know my coaching staff too really was excited when the numbers went up in our district. More teams to me, it's just more fun. And you just develop new friendships, new relationships, and just kind of like this one that you and I formed starting last year. That's kind of the fun of this biz. On the football side, I think we're going to land at probably 6. I think Cormdale is going to go independent in football. Picked up a team out of Lubbock. Full transparency, excited to have the team, not excited that they're in Lubbock.
Or Midland.
or Midland. Chris Cunningham, dear friend, but same deal. But hopefully somehow in the football world for the Metroplex schools, we can have a Midland home and a Lubbock away, where you only have to do that once a year. That would be a nice balance. But at the end of the day, Taps decides who we play. We just got to go figure out how to play them. And, we're sitting at, I guess we're the largest enrollment school this year when I looked at the numbers in the 5A group. And honestly, I've told our board we're in purgatory. It's the worst place we can be because, next year we could be scooped back up, which would be okay. But if we're just going to live in this number, we're about 378 in the high school. To me, we need to either drop down a little bit to where we'd be in a safety zone where we would never be pulled up. We should need to blow through the door and go to about 460 or 70 to give our teams in the other sports fighting chance to be competitive. Right. Because I'm telling you what, that 6A bracket on the girls' side, holy cow, that's a tough place to live.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to turn our focus back to the field real quick in this week's matchup against the Lions. No doubt you've done your homework. You've scouted the likes of Clayton Sebecki and Ben Wagner. What are your thoughts on those guys, and what do you have to do to limit their impact?
Man, those two guys are explosive, and they're a great combination. The defensive coordinator, it doesn't matter who we're playing. We're playing Grapevine, Faith, or South Lake Carroll. He's going to come in and just go, oh, my God, I don't know how we're going to deal with these guys. And, huge respect for the two guys that you just mentioned, quarterback spot and receiving spot. Quite frankly, right there at 3/4 of the top of what we've seen this year. I mean, they're really, really good. The defensive side, you got a corner that's lights out, and we've got a good set. We've got a good receiving core too, but those guys are being tested. And Ben, last year's game, again, if you throw the cold out of it, that was a good ball game. And really that pick six was kind of the turner of the ball game. I mean, that was a competitive matchup right up until about that point. And so, man, we're looking for a spirited game, and I haven't got to spend a lot of time with Coach Holland. He and I visited on the phone this week, of course, getting ready for this game, talking about the particulars. But he seems enthusiastic and excited, and has been a great fit for Faith this year, and hopefully that's a long-term fit for him. And I believe, just from visiting with him, if he stays there, that's my advice from the older guy down to the younger guys. If you find a place you like, an administration that's supportive, stay put. The grass is rarely ever greener, and if you stay put, magic happens. And it just takes some time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and those of us coming into this business new, if you go in with that mindset that I don't have to win immediately. I want to just show progress and get better. Communities buy into that kind of support. Yep. And so, I think Bobby will be that for Faith and help build that program kind of like Coach Hogan had it rolling there for a while. And because we want to, it's so much more fun when everybody's good.
Yeah.
Where every week is just, oh my gosh, because let me tell you, when everybody's good, you forget about your losses real fast. You got to get back to work in a big hurry. And we're sitting in a district, Midland's competitive, All Saints is competitive, Grapevine's competitive. It has been really, really good. Brady Gunn over at Fourth Christian, that coaching staff is excellent. Fourth Christian's been really good. Midland Christian, and Chris Cunningham's great. New football coach over at Southwest Christian is awesome, and they've been good before. We could, they nicknamed us the District of Doom last year when everybody dropped down. But I'm gonna tell you, when they may not give us that nickname next year, but I bet the year after that they do, because that next year into this thing, if everybody stays put, holy moly,
it'll be fun.
There's gonna be some good football, and this team out in Lubbock that I'm not real familiar with, man, they're not afraid of anybody. They played Liberty last week, so they got a little swagger, and when they got, I don't think they had it in their heads they were coming up yet, but they didn't flinch either. Which I'm a big fan of that. So I'm happy with it, looking forward to it, and I think we got great days ahead.
I agree. Well, Friday night should be a good test for the Lions as both teams try to extend their season another week. Coach, I just got to say, man, you are a true gentleman, and I'm so appreciative of your time. And regardless of what happens Friday night, I'm going to see you next year regardless. So good luck the rest of the season.
Steve, you as well. And I'll tell you what, Grapevine takes lucky to have you.
Well,
not everybody goes to this measure, and what you do for that program out there is outstanding. So keep doing what you do, man.
Thank you, Coach. That's very kind of you. That's head coach of Fort Worth All Saints, Aaron Beck, and they host the Faith Lions in a first-round playoff game coming up shortly right here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. Time for our weekly visit with Bobby Holland here on the Bobby Holland Show. And Coach, this week follows the Lions' victory over Bishop Dunn, which we'll get into in just a minute. But as always, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Well, a pretty dominant second half paved the way for a Lions 45-26 victory over the Bishop Dunn Falcons Friday night, senior night here at Grapevine Ford Field. And Coach, the second half, really, in some of our games, there's been a struggle in the second half, making adjustments and so forth. But not on Friday night. What was really a close game at the half really turned into a runaway game. Not as close really as the score showed, in my opinion. But what adjustments did you make at halftime?
Well, they came out in formations we'd never seen before. We felt like we had a good defensive game plan going into the week. Unfortunately, all that was essentially wasted because they really did not line up in any formations we had seen prior to Friday night, and so we hadn't really practiced any of those. You don't, as a defensive coach, you don't want to practice formations they haven't run before. You don't want to chase ghosts, otherwise, you really don't get good at anything.
Sure.
And then with most of our guys playing both ways, it's kind of hard to make adjustments in the middle of a game. So we had to wait. We had to kind of survive until halftime. and then get the kids in the office. Coach Topping had a good idea of what we needed to do up front in order. They were really attacking the C gaps that were open. They brought in multiple tight ends and were able to run the ball between the tackle and tight end. Coach Topping knew what he wanted to do with the front in order to stop that. And then I had to kind of build a coverage around that once we had that plan in place. And then the next step was to bring the kids in the office, show them the dry erase board and say, this is what we need to do in the second half. Here's where they're hurting us. This is our answer. They looked at it, said, got it, and they went out and executed, which is a big credit to them. So it took assistant coaches figuring it out. It took me figuring it out. It took the players being able to learn it quickly, which shows how they've grown intellectually as football players, to be able to pick that up that quickly, and then to be able to. And then it was up to them to go execute on the field, and they did it.
Yeah. Well, your top two offensive weapons, Clayton Sebecki, Ben Wagner, dominated once again. Clayton was 17 of 24 for 231 yards and 4 touchdowns in the air, then ran for 148 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Ben had 201 all-purpose yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. It was really what you needed from your team leaders, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and it was great to see them have great nights on senior night. And sometimes it's nice to say, I wish the game had gone cleaner, that we didn't have as adversity to deal with, but it also made it satisfying at the end that we had to fight through some adversity and come together and really work hard to go win, which is, wins are hard no matter who you're playing.
No doubt. Well, it's a perfect segue, because I was going to talk about that. There were a few moments of the game that got a little chippy, and rightfully so, for my opinion, because I thought there were some late hits and some targeting shots on Clayton. But I bring that up only to reference that your team seemed to really kind of play with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and they seemed to get a little more, assertive. They didn't back down from anything. It seemed like there was a noticeable difference in their attitude and their play.
Yeah, they were frustrated with how things were going. That things weren't going as the way we wanted to in the first half. So there was a little bit of frustration. And then we felt like that a guy had targeted Clayton on a roughing. No, it wasn't just roughing the passer, but it was roughing the passer with a targeting helmet to helmet on top. The referee missed it because he called one of our linemen for holding, and at first said that he had thrown his guy into Clayton, which I knew not to be true. And then he said, well, once I called holding, I kind of lost track of what was going on. I try to stay calm with referees and plead our case in a rational way and set an example for our players, because I don't want them freaking out. But when it comes to player safety and the refs not stepping in to prevent another team from doing something like that, then you'll see a side of me that can be a little fiery. And I don't regret. I kind of wish I'd brought the team together and said, all right, what's done is done. It's time to move on. Let's calm down and go play. But I don't regret getting a little emotional.
Yeah, standing up for your kids, right? Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt. Yeah.
Well, you've talked all season about not playing up to other teams' expectations of you, but playing up to the expectations that you set for yourself. I know you start the playoffs this week, but as you look back on the regular season, how would you assess your team in that regard?
Well, I think that we're learning as a program how to approach the mental side of preparation for a game. And I think it's common for anyone. It's human nature, but especially teenagers, to be real inconsistent and up and down with their motivation. So you hear players say, hey, this is a big week. We need to have a great week of practice. And my thought to that is, there's never a week that goes by where we shouldn't have a good week of practice. So it can't be a matter of who we're playing that determines how we work. I think that's how you establish consistency. When you have a big game, you don't necessarily play up to your level of competition. You play down to what your average body of work is. And so if you can concentrate on making yourself great all the time, then your body of work is going to be a great, if you revert to the mean and that's your mean, that's what you want. And so I feel like we've grown as a program in that regard. Just hearing the players talk, their consistency, And it's becoming more about being your best, concentrating on being your best, concentrating on being our best, and not worrying about our competition. I think when you get to the playoffs, that becomes even more important.
I agree. Well, we talked earlier in the season. I think, in fact, it was our very first sit down. We talked about the support that your wife, Lorraine, has brought to you throughout your entire career. And I want to give you an opportunity to talk about her for a second. As you reflect on your first season as a head coach and your first season here at Faith, what are your thoughts about the support that your wife and your family have brought to you, meant to you this season?
She's awesome. I can't imagine doing it without her. She's a great source of wisdom. A lot of my decisions I kind of run through her, or situations I'll talk to her about. She'll help me with my perspective. But, one thing in my first year as a head coach, I've learned it's hard because I think the weight of the program, you feel that a lot more than you do as an assistant coach. So the stress level and anxiety for me is higher than it's been. That's taken some learning to get used to. Having her steadiness and her love and support for me I've really had to lean on that, and it's been really huge. I really appreciate it. I love her, and it's been great.
Yeah. Well, appreciate your candidness there. She's an amazing, godly woman, and I know you wanted to get a chance to brag on her for a second. So, well, let's
Thank
look
you
ahead.
for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, looking ahead to this week's matchup, very, very talented, fast, big, strong, tall. You pick whatever adjective you want. All Saints team. Coach Begg back in his 16th season there. It's a repeat of last year's first round playoff game here at home, where the Lions fell short 45-30. Their O-line average is about 255, so you've got your work cut out for you there. But what should we expect to see from the Lions this week against a big All Saints team?
Well, they're really big up front, and a lot of their blocking schemes are kind of more smash mouth football, ISO and power, and so we're going to need. We have some different personnel packages to get bigger guys on the field, either an extra lineman or an extra linebacker, and we are going to focus on stopping the run more and committing more guys to the box, and that could leave us vulnerable in the throwing game. But we feel like if we don't stop the run, then it doesn't really matter. That's kind of more their identity. They tend to run the ball. I mean, they do a lot of things well. They pass the ball well. They run the ball well. But I think if they can have their choice, they're going to want to run the ball. They certainly did last week against Fort Worth Christian. And so we want to be ready for that. But they're a really good football team.
They are the other side. Well, so are the Lions. So this should be a good matchup here. So confidence going in. Well, Coach, man, I really have appreciated your time this season, and been very gracious with your time as always. And my hope is that we're here next week and we're talking about a second round playoff game. So good luck this Friday night, and go get them.
Thank you.
Well, that's head coach Bobby Holland here on the Bobby Holland Show. Your Lions are on the road in Fort Worth against All Saints. Coming up next here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. We're back here live at the on the campus of Fort Worth All Saints. I catch myself, Jack, a couple times I want to say Episcopal School of Dallas, because they're the, I guess, All Saints Episcopal School,
right,
of Fort Worth. But
yes.
Anyway.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah. Jack and I had a chance to give a shout-out to JD's Hamburgers. We had a little chance to grab a little pregame meal over there. That was
thank you to Kimmy Bedford, a co-worker. Her kids go to All Saints here, and recommended that place. The other place, I don't think you would want to hear the name on the radio, and I'm not so sure that since Steve and I don't drive Harleys that we would be welcome in there. But thank you, Steve. Thank you. Thank you for the camera. These people are excited to see me.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh, gosh. Well,
never turn the camera on.
Awesome. Last week when I hold on, my wife is calling me.
Yeah, there's nobody listening anyways, except for April Wharton's watching. I know she's watching already. She's staying.
My wife's going to be on the air with us. Yes, my dear.
You're on the air. You're on the air.
I'm on the air. Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm at your truck.
Okay, I'll unlock it.
Okay, yep, there we go.
My wife is grabbing an umbrella out of the truck.
Such a professional broadcast.
Well, I will say, compared to last week's JV game, where it sounded like two high schoolers broke into a radio station, and hijacked it.
Let me tell you something. When I'm in charge of Mark, there's really nobody in charge.
I was going to say that's the quite the quandary you're in.
Well, anyways, we're back here now. Back alive.
We're back live.
You're looking live at McNair Field here at All Saints. Well, Steve and I had a moment to have some dinner, a burger at JD's.
We did.
And we were talking about tonight's game. And maybe I'm stepping on your toes, I
guess.
But,
no, jump into it.
We talked about, when you get to this point in the season, you're in the playoffs, and you start looking at matchups, and you start looking at the offense versus defense versus offense, and then coaching, and Coach Beck heard his pregame speech with us and a number of years of experience, and Bobby's, first year here as a head coach and first year with Grapevine Faith, and this is where you want to see these two teams match up pretty well as far as on paper, and then you start getting it out here. You mentioned earlier that the starting quarterback from All Saints is a transfer from a public high school. I'm not going to name the name of the public high school, but he's a Virginia Tech signee. I mean, I think we're right here where we need to be, and this first quarter is really going to dictate out what's going to happen in the rest of the game. I think if you get out long, sustained drive from Grapevine Faith, if you get the ball first or make a defensive stop is really going to be the key. But it's really offense to offense, or offense on defense, defense on offense, and then coaching when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of talked about on paper. I mean, their offensive line average is 250 pounds. We were watching them in warm-ups, and these guys are just huge.
And we've lost 2 offensive linemen already.
Yes, yeah. So, both ways. So, Van Shoemaker, one of the defensive linemen, he is out with a possibly torn labrum. He's got to get an MRI either this weekend or early next week. He is out tonight. And your starting offensive, your left guard, left tackle, Hayden Jobe, he tore his meniscus last week against Bishop Dunn. So, it's a tall order tonight, Jack. Any way you slice it, it's going to be tough sledding. But we kind of talked about this at dinner too. David and Goliath, man. Like David never
pulled the stone out of his satchel and slung it and struck the Philistine in the head. Steve, greatest line. Well, not the greatest line in all of Hoosiers history, but Hoosiers is a great movie and talked about that too. I mean, you got the smallest school in Indiana history going against South Bend Central. There's always an opportunity.
Sure.
And, if plays go your way, if you got All Saints on the edge and they, start turning the ball over, you take advantage of those turnovers, the game's totally different, right?
Yeah.
It kind of levels the playing field a bit. And, you're talking about the size of the players on All Saints, just the sheer girth of the squad of All Saints versus Grapevine Faith. I mean, they probably have twice as many players all combined, JV and varsity, on the field tonight.
Yeah, Coach said they're suiting up, I think it's 85 or 86 tonight.
85 and 86.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure we have 85 kids in our high school.
our entire
Boys,
school.
That is.
Right.
If we start shooting out some girls that could kick, we'd still have some struggles. But, it's a big school, a bigger school than we are. And, the good news, folks, we get to face them next year as well.
In district
play next year.
Well, talking with Coach Beck about that, he made the point in that pregame interview. If you didn't hear it, I'll kind of recap it real quick. But he loves, I don't want to say he loves parity, but he wants everybody to be good. He wants everybody in the district to be, good football teams. And so that every week is a challenge. He goes, look at the SEC. He's like, every week, dude, is an absolute, just heavyweight fight. So he wants everybody to be good. And he's, again, you talked about it, a guy who's been coaching over 38 years. And Coach Holland, who's been coaching longer than this is not his first year coaching. This is his first year as a head coach. But he's like, man, I tell these young guys, don't think the grass is greener. Get somewhere and set up some roots. I mean, this is his 17th year at All Saints.
Yeah.
Look, we've talked about this so many times. The challenges that Faith had starting this year with again hiring a coach kind of late, getting the offensive coordinator in, then. Again, you've got the summer, barely the summer to kind of get it through, and then it's been a tall order. So I mean, my hope is with the full spring of off season and then the summer, you're going to see and again you're losing some big guys. This is what I was thinking about tonight, though, Jack, on the way to the game. We know that they're going to key on Clayton and Ben. I mean, every team does. They're our 2 biggest weapons. We've got plenty of other weapons. Nathan Triggerstead has really stepped up these last few weeks.
Noah Smith,
absolutely. Matthew Rotella-Kirschbaum had a great game last week at running back.
Yeah.
But we know that they're going to key on Clayton and on Ben. So the question is, I think that Grapevine Faith's going to have to answer, will they have an answer to that? Will they have an answer to that? Will they have an answer to that?
I think
and be able to make adjustments.
Yeah, and I think the last couple of weeks have been important, and I say this in not analyzing the offensive strategy of Grapevine Faith. I don't want this to be a negative. Some of our focus has been both, purely on Clayton Sobecki running the ball and Ben Wagner catching the ball. In the last couple of weeks, I feel like we've expanded the playbook just a touch and opened it up to Nathan Triggerstead, opened it up to Noah Smith, opened it up to, Alfred for at the beginning of the year and even last week, even when he was in the game. He's out again this week, but Rotello Kirschbaum as well. I mean, we do have some stuff in the playbook that we can call that, is not just Clayton Sobecki and Ben Wagner.
No doubt.
I think it's really important that, they do that. They expand that just a touch and make sure that we keep All Saints off their toes, so to speak. And if you've been watching the film, if you just watch it quickly, you just see nothing but Clayton Sobecki and Ben Wagner. But at the same time, open it up a little bit.
Yep.
Let's throw it to Noah. And, interesting play from last week, I think it was, on the touchdown, which I've been calling for a while, but it was a different form. It's the same formation we've been running, but except Tristan Dare was in that kind of that slot position behind the tackle. Except we put Noah Smith in that spot. 1 yard touchdown pass. And that was that touch, and he crossed behind the line, and he was wide open. And I think I even mentioned that we should just run it right down the gut with Clayton Sobecki, but that play looked so much better. And it also opens it up too because we don't throw to that slot / tight end. I call it a tight end, but tight end position, it kind of throws people off at just a touch. And I think I'll let see us open up the playbook, especially tonight. What are you going to leave anything in the tank for tonight?
No,
just open it up and you talked about too is we were late hiring, getting the hire in with Bobby Holland. The season ends. Now Bobby's got a full almost 9 months of getting the squad, getting his plan into place. He's going to have a couple weeks in the spring, and then he starts the summer workouts. I think it's going to be a different season next year, but
no doubt.
And I'm not trying to talk about next season already before we even play these games because
come on, Jack.
Yeah,
come on, just be
that
positive.
We will win.
Yeah.
I believe that we will win. I believe that. Anyways, but I'm just saying that it's a different game when you've got that many months ahead of you as the coach and players. I mean, here's what I would do if I was Coach Holland. I'd go to every sporting event that I could, and I'd start scouting out kids. I'd start scouting out the sophomores and saying, hey, I need you to come out for football next year. I understand that you play soccer. I understand you play basketball. I understand you play baseball, but I need you to come out. I need a body out there, and I need even if you could give me half the time.
Right.
I need bodies. I mean, just look at All Saints when they're coming out here. They've got 14,000 kids playing football out here.
Well, you asked about you talked about earlier about kind of changing some things up. I talked to Ben Wagner and Nathan Triggerstead this week about what they might bring this week, and here's what they had to say.
Things have been going well this week. We're just going to go out there, try our best, win this game.
Nathan, y'all try anything different this week, or is it just bring what you got?
A couple different offensive formations we're trying to do, but pretty much just we're doing bread and butter, just do our offense.
My apologies to the Mixler crowd not being able to hear those audio. We don't. We try to figure out what's going on. The Coach Holland show didn't come through on Mixler. Neither did the interview with Coach Beck. So apologies there. But
get YouTube.
Yeah, go to YouTube. Yeah,
Steve has made an announcement this week too as well. We're not going to have access to Mixler.
I did not say that, as far as you know. So, I mean, again, you heard Ben and Nathan say, hey, they're going to add in a few new things. But in the pregame earlier, Jack, it was just you got 86 kids, and, man, All Saints was sending a message. They were trying to, I don't want to say intimidate, but, they were chanting loud. And, I mean, I get it. They got home field advantage, and you're trying to send a message to your opponent that, hey, you're in our territory, and we get it. We did talk to Clayton this week and ask him kind of some of the things that he's learned over his senior year. Here's what he had to say.
I mean, it's been fun playing a new position. It's kind of similar playing running back because I'm still back behind the line. Like, I know the guys, been doing drills with them, but it's been pretty fun just kind of leading them and in a new way, distributing the ball to people who might not have gotten it last year and just kind of helping everyone else grow in the process of me in a new position. So it's been.
Clayton echoed there a little bit what I talked about with Coach Holland last week, just about his maturing, not only athletically. I mean, again, he leads the district in total yards and, you name it, but he's matured in just his decision-making, Jack, seeing the field. And he talked about the fact that he's been able to distribute the ball. As the years gone on, he's been distribute the ball to some other guys. I think obviously talking about Nathan and Noah and some others. So, yeah, just, again, Clayton's going to be missed, and so has Ben and the rest of the seniors. Hopefully this isn't the last game. And but like I said, a little bit of a David and Goliath. It's the giant here, and be a big game here. So both teams obviously looking to extend their season as it's win or go home. So,
yeah, keep in mind, too, we finished third in this district, and that, it is a tough district, but, we needed to finish higher to get out of this little area we're in with against these tough opponents that we're going to see.
Well, I haven't looked at. Well, I've looked. I haven't found a playoff bracket. I've looked everywhere on Max Preps and online. I think the winner of this game has the pleasure of playing Liberty in the next round. So we'll see. And Coach, I would tell you, if All Saints would love nothing better than a crack at him, and I would too. Sort of.
You personally?
Yes, I'm gonna take on the entire Liberty team. So. But, hey, our focus is here tonight. Your Grapevine Faith Lions here against All Saints. They're recognizing a veteran down the field with his son down at midfield. So thankful for all of this is Veterans Weekend. Super thankful for all of our veterans, including my oldest son who served in the U.S. Army. And thankful for all of our veterans and for their families that have sacrificed so much.
Yeah. Clayton Sobecki's father, Matt Sobecki, served for the U.S. Navy, Naval Academy graduate. Clayton signed up to go to the Air Force Academy this fall as the signee for the football squad. So a lot of great. I love Veterans Day. I think it's a great time to be American, Steve. Be an American.
That's right. Captains at midfield: Clayton Sobecki, Nathan Triggerstead, Ben Wagner, and I'm trying to catch the other one. I missed his number.
Max Martin, probably.
Was it Max? Maybe? Yeah,
I'm guessing. But.
So we mentioned earlier, if you're just now joining us, Hayden Job, senior Hayden Job, out with a torn meniscus, tore it last week against Bishop Dunn. Freshman Van Shoemaker, starting nose guard, he is out with a possible torn labrum. He's going to get an MRI later, but really, really unfortunate. So they're Faith already. And Michael Offord is out. Walker Little out as well. So there's some injuries here. Michael Offord re-injured that foot last week, refractured some bones there.
Yeah, that's terrible too, by the way.
Yeah,
what a sad – that was disappointing.
Yeah, very much so. Well, the encouraged to stick around at halftime. Got a great Stories of Faith this week. Coach Sean Mingledorf, who is the boys' head varsity soccer coach and the assistant athletic director. And that was Max Martin. Thank you, Jack, on the other captain for
they don't pay me the big bucks for that.
That's right.
Nothing, Steve. Sorry, I was standing up to sing the national anthem. Did I miss it, or what's going on?
I do not know.
Okay.
But anyway, the Stories of Faith at halftime, Coach Sean Mingledorf, so stick around for that. Also have the Lionettes and the Grapevine Faith varsity cheerleading squad. We'll bring you all of those in their entirety along with the Stories of Faith. Lions are in their helmet. The Saints are in their helmet. So
blow-up helmet.
Blow-up helmet, yes. Sorry. Well, they can see on the screen, Jack.
Well,
I would hope that they'd see that that's the helmet.
Great Mark Edwards on the camera. We spoke
thankful
about
for Mark. He's up top. Hopefully pray that the rain stays away till there's a chance of rain around 8:15, 8:30. Let's pray that it stays away tonight. But here come the Lions. I will say this, the Saints have a great pregame show, Jack. They've got a really cool pregame audio system they use. They've got cameramen down on the field, and, pretty cool pregame.
And beautiful campus. I don't know if you can even hear me, Steve. There we go. There we go. Beautiful campus they have here at All Saints.
Yeah. I wish I could tell you why our headphones are kind of shorting out on us, but I think we're good now. There is a color guard right at midfield here on the visitor side that will be presenting the colors tonight, so we're excited about that.
Grapevine Faith coaches in khaki pants, red sweatshirts, and red hats.
We'll give you we'll do our traditional uniform mock-up here in a second.
Coach Dicker decided to come back and spend some time with us after his vacation.
In Mexico. He was in Mexico last week. Good old Coach Dicker. Listen to the game, by the way. So first-round playoff game tonight, Division II game against your Grapevine Faith Lions and Fort Worth All Saints. And again, both these teams will be in the same district next year. We're all up here trying to do the math and trying to figure out how in the world that is when they've got about there are more kids on the sideline than there are folks in the stands. But we are getting ready to have the presentation of the colors and the national anthem.
We honor you, we salute you, and we thank you for your service. At this time, we'd like to ask all those who are able to please rise and remove your caps and remain standing for the opening prayer voiced by the All Saints Upper School Chaplain, Father Tommy Matthews, and then the presentation of our national colors by the Fort Worth Fire Department Honor Guard, along with All Saints' own Life Safety Officer and Air Force veteran Kathy Bull. Then followed by our national anthem performed by the Saints Regiment Marching Band, directed by Mr. Jared Goodchild.
Let us pray. Gracious and holy God, you have created us in your image. Grant to all the athletes, coaches, officials, and spectators strength to pursue excellence during this event. We pray for the safety of these athletes. Protect them from any harm or injury. Help them to compete with fairness in their hearts and minds, and give them the grace to accept success or defeat. Finally, gracious Lord, we pray that your grace and mercy would inspire us to enter into this competition with a spirit of sportsmanship and with respect and reverence for all players, coaches, officials, and spectators. It's in your holy name we pray. Amen. That was a little bit hard to hear the
band from All Saints. They were facing the home side, and a little hard to hear, but that was the national anthem presentation of the colors. So ready to get going here in our opening first-round playoff game this year. Mark Edwards on our camera tonight. Appreciate him being up top. He's up on top of the press box here on the visitor side. A really nice visitors press box. There's a little bit of an infestation of wasp or hornets or something, Jack. I'm not sure what it was. But we came in there all dead, but
they are now, Steve. All right, Steve. I believe that we will win.
I believe that. Oh, Jack, you're overmodulating.
I believe that we will win.
So we talked earlier, Jack. The All Saints normally uses the Fort Worth chapter of officials, and Grapevine Faith uses the Dallas chapter. And Coach Beck informed me earlier this week in my interview with him that the San Antonio chapter is supplying officials for tonight. Apparently there's an earthquake up on top. I have absolutely no idea what Mark Edwards is doing.
Mark may have fallen down. Maybe I can help him. Hold on 1 second.
I do not know what's going on up there.
You okay?
Yeah, don't know what happened there, but
well, you get what you pay for,
right.
Steve. That's
So the All Saints, their budget has it in their budget for the light up yardage mark over here, Jack. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Actually, I'm looking at these cars on the hill. It reminded me of this is going to be a very odd tangent I'm going off on, Steve, but the South Dakota Hard Rockers, South Dakota School of Mines Hard Rockers, they have actually built-in parking lots so you can sit in your car and watch the game. And
wow.
It's kind of reminding me of that right now. But
well, we're going to take for some reason, Tammy wants the camera on us for just a second. So
Tammy
Pedens, right?
Tammy Pedens. Okay, well, Tanya Edwards probably doesn't. She doesn't
Yeah.
want to see Mark on there. That's
we are zooming. I'm not sure what's happened to Mark up there, folks. He's a got a mind of his own. So here we go. Lions will receive.
Good luck to you, Steve.
Yep. Lions will receive the opening kickoff. Number 18, Sutton Figley, the junior kicker for All Saints, here to kick off.
Kind of giggly name.
It is. And here comes the kick. And Clayton Sebecki, that goes through the end zone. He watches that sail through. So Lions will take over 1st and 10 from their own 25 here to start in our first series of the game.
For the touchback, the Lions will begin this drive at their own 25.
Thank you, Barry Ford. We ate before the game, Barry. Barry Ford up here.
Thank you, Barry.
Very graciously offering us some dinner. But
don't forget, tonight's game is being live streamed on YouTube at the HSB Sports Network. That's HSB Sports Network.
Yeah, we want. I hear them talking about their network. I just want to thank our broadcast partners, Michelle and Brian Dooley, Kelly Massey at Grip Productions, Noberto Gonzalez at NG Concrete, David Campisi at Campisi Restaurants, and Kevin Abercrombie. Thank you guys again for that. And don't forget, please log on and make a donation to the ASBC, All Sports Booster Club, Steve, at grapevinefaith.com.
Well, whoever's running the play clock has decided to take the knot. There he goes. He reset the official's been asking for them to reset it. There we go. And there we go. Finally got it right. He had the 40-second play clock now instead of the 25. So, all right, here we go. We're ready to start.
Let's go, Faith.
First play from scrimmage here with Matthew Rotella-Kirschbaum in the backfield next to Clayton Sebecki. Some movement going on up front by the defensive line. Pass out to the far side to Noah Smith. Caught. He's upended after about a 2-yard gain, maybe a yard. Let's see here. They give him this spot at the 26, maybe 25.5-yard line. So they give him half a yard. So we'll call it 2nd down and 9.
Setting something up for later, I'm sure, Steve.
Yep. Some big boys on that defensive side of the ball. We talked about the offensive line for All Saints.
Prairie Dogs popping up.
The offensive line averaging 250 pounds.
You people down in Waco probably
sorry,
don't know
Jack.
that. Yeah.
I think I was trying to talk when you were trying to interrupt me.
No,
I apologize.
Okay, well, sorry. People want to hear me.
There's Clayton Sebecki on the keeper around the left side. Tripped up. Gain of maybe another yard.
Yeah.
So 3rd down and looks like probably 8 coming up. And once again, Jack, we seem to say this every game because it seems the obvious. Just want to avoid those 3rd and long situations. They did a good job last week against Bishop Dunn of avoiding those.
Yep.
But here's their first test.
Kind of want to see a long, sustained drive on this first possession, Steve. But it doesn't, you can't be doing this and leaving yourself with 8 yards on third down.
Yep. We'll see what Coach Ware has dialed up. Sabecki looking to pass. Chased out of the pocket. Pass downfield, intended for Ben Wagner.
I don't know about that one, Steve. I think that was close to being pass interference, but also close to not being a call. I think that's probably what they're setting up for.
Caden Richardson and Durham Salter on the coverage there for All Saints. So it's going to force the Lions into a punting situation. Kevin Dodard, I'm not sure how you said it, senior.
Dodard. I don't know.
Back deep. Punt by Ben Wagner. Good punt.
Yeah, pretty
Drives
good punt
Dodard
there.
back to his 40. Runs around to his right. Triggerstad in pursuit.
Oh, hold
penalty flag down.
Yeah,
Dodard's he's back inside the Lions 20, but he's taken out of bounds. But there's a penalty flag. 2 penalty flags down.
There's just a hush over the crowd. They're not excited about that run back because they know it's coming back.
Nobody went crazy when he made a big run for it because they, like you said, Jack, they knew it was coming back. So we'll see what the apologies for the cowbell in everybody's ear if it's breaking your ear. I'm just kidding. We will love the Grapevine Faith moms making some noise for their boys. Penalty was looks like they're going to assess it around the Lions' 41-yard line, so they'll take it back 10 yards from there. So be just inside of All Saints territory, but it's still good field position for them in their first possession.
Yeah, not really. Like I said, you really kind of wanted a little bit more of a sustained drive on that. Maybe not result in points, but you really, against this team, you're going to have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, very little margin for error against this team here for sure. So their quarterback, Keldon Ryan Jr., transfer from Keller Central. He's had a good season this year, averaging 60 yards on the ground, almost 1,500 yards in the air. And so here come the Saints from their own 49-yard line for their first possession of the game. Snapback handoff, a flip back. Looks like it's going to be a halfback pass. Fires it to Keldon Ryan, caught at the 35. Makes a couple of moves inside the 30, inside the 25, inside the 20. Finally pushed out of bounds.
Flag down on the play, Steve.
Yep, there is another penalty flag down.
Keldon Ryan down to the 12-yard line.
Some sort of hold or block in the back probably. We'll see what the call is. Maybe some sort of, I couldn't see the signal because the officials facing like a crackback block or something. They don't call it that anymore.
Way in the middle
there.
And that's also an odd spot on a completion like that. So it's probably going to be an odd penalty.
Well, hey, let us know if you so Tammy Peden confirms the winner of this game plays the winner of Southwest Christian and Legacy Christian.
Second and 4 All Saints. The Lions 45.
They're trying to reset the play clock again.
This is not what we need. A rookie on the clock in the playoffs.
So first down. There's a handoff coming back the other way, kind of a little trap. Picks up a couple of blocks. There's Corbin Irwin in pursuit. Ben Wagner kind of held up there around the 40-yard line. But the running back, that was Elijah Johnson, senior running back, number 15. Or number 25, excuse me. That's Reed Watkins. Apologies.
Yeah, it looks like our kind of the line and the linebackers got caught up in the middle there and didn't have that in pursuit that they probably would prefer.
First and 10 for All Saints at the Lions' 36-yard line. Ryan looking to pass. Pass here to the near side, complete to number 2. Picked up by Ben Wagner, finally taken down. That's Doogie Doddard. We had, I think it's his brother that was back for the Dodard. We'll call him Doddard.
That will be good enough for another.
Yeah, so there's Dougie, who's number 2, and Kevin is number 4. Twins that are seniors.
I don't necessarily know that was a bad defensive play there. We're keeping the ball in front of us, 11-yard gain. Prefer to be up a little bit closer. They like that delayed handoff.
Another handoff to Reed Watkins, trying to drive it forward, but nice coverage there on the front, in that interior front defensive line by the Lions. Tristan Dare in there. A couple other guys for the Lions in there on the stop. So gain of about 2 on the play. We'll call it second down and 8.
So those down markers and the yardage is Bluetooth, Steve. So when they get close enough, that's why they think they're 8 yards apart from each other.
Huh.
Technology, Steve.
Right?
Yeah. Why is he getting kicked out?
Ryan Purdue coming off for a play.
Why is he coming out? It's like they sent him off. What's going on? Oh, Coach Dickert's not happy with him.
No, he's just talking to him.
This is Purdue. How you doing? Everything good? Oh, no? What's going on with him?
Well, they're trying to reset the play clock again. It keeps
Goodness
resetting
gracious.
to the 40. Jack's going to have a coronary here on the play. There we go.
Yeah.
They're trying to get set between the 25-second and the 40-second. 2 receivers split to each side with a single set back with Ryan. He's looking to pass. Got plenty of time. Scrambles out of the pocket here to the left side.
Oh,
Escapes a couple of tackles. Still on his feet. He's in the end zone for a touchdown for All Saints.
Goodness gracious.
A lot of missed tackles and broken tackles there, Jack. They're going to have to figure that out pretty quick. I'll tell you, Jack, there are a lot of fans standing for All Saints on the home side, back behind the home stands, but the home stands are nowhere near packed.
No.
I mean, I'd say, 70, 65% full, maybe? 60%? 61.2, maybe?
You're pretty close, Steve. You got the great Barry Irwin listening to us. I don't know why he's just not watching the game. He's an old timer. He's got his Walkman on.
It's like a 2-quarter delay. He's hearing us call the game. It'll be the second quarter. That extra point attempt is up and good for All Saints. So very quickly with 8 minutes 42 seconds left here in the first quarter, All Saints takes the lead 7-0.
Well, that's not the start you wanted, Steve.
No. We talked about, again, the need for the Lions to get a drive put together and to get sustained drives, move the ball, maintain possession, and they have they're going to need to do that, obviously. So.
Steve, I have some notes written down if this thing gets out of hand, because we always seem to have open air, but I'm hoping this doesn't get out of hand.
Yeah, come on,
Let's
man.
Go,
don't
Faith.
be talking that way.
Let's go, Faith.
Don't be talking that way.
Come on. All right, this is what I want here, Steve. I want a long, sustained drive. I want some change in the offensive play calling, meaning that we can mix it up a lot, and then, preferably get a score.
Yes, that would be the highlight for sure. I'm texting Dr. Smith to see if he's at the game tonight. Hopefully he is, and we can spend some time with him after halftime visiting with him. Clayton Sebecki and Ben Wagner back deep. Sebecki lets that go over his head into the end zone, so that's going to be a touchback. So the Lions coming out for their second possession of the game. They received the opening kickoff, weren't able to do anything with it. I think they got 2 yards total. And we're forced to punt, so hoping they can turn that around here. Punted to All Saints, who took possession after a penalty on the punt, took possession at their own 49. And after a few plays, were able to punch it in. Kelvin Ryan, the quarterback, taking it in from about 25 yards out.
A little bit different formation than we saw in the first series. We got Kirschbaum, Rotello Kirschbaum back in the backfield. So maybe we'll see something out of that.
Ben Wagner on jet sweep, pitch to him, and he's hit immediately. Big sack there, big loss. Nice play there by Ryan Neander, the senior.
You think maybe they watched some videotape, Steve?
They've seen one or two games of tape for sure.
Yeah. Maybe they were watching our broadcast, Steve. Just wanted to hear us talk about the game.
Loss of 6 on the play there, so the Lions got to figure something out for that for sure. Snap back to Sebecki, pass here to the near side, in and out of the hands of Nathan Trigestad. Falls incomplete. I think you heard some footsteps there, so
Well, you're going against a team like this. You really got to be perfect, Steve. No mistakes allowed. And, these first two series, I think we've seen our first two series from Grapevine Faith, and then also the defensive series. You've seen some mistakes on that side as well. They can't sustain this.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be able to do this.
Well, I know
you're
good
of a team.
You were out of town for the Legacy Christian game in Frisco, Jack, but unfortunately, there's some eerie similarities or timeout call by the Lions. There's some eerily similar scenarios here in the sense that Faith looks, in my opinion, looks a little flat, looks a little maybe, I don't want to say intimidated, but, man, they don't have their ears pinned back, whereas the Saints, and again, you got a bigger team, they're much more physical, and at, as far as size, like you said, just the girth, got more players and are as big, but they set the tone in pregame, and they were fired up, and haven't seen that from the Lions. Now, talked to Coach Holland in that pregame show about last week with Bishop Dunn when things got a little chippy. They were taking some really uncalled for shots at Clayton Sebecki, and the team it ticked them off. I mean, they had an attitude after that because they didn't like their quarterback getting hit.
Yeah,
and they talk about pinning their ears back. They did on the offensive side of the ball too, and they were fired up.
Well, and I know you hate talking about Texas Tech, Steve, but back in the day with Mike Leach in a situation like this, he would call a timeout, and he wouldn't just call the defense or offense over. The whole team would be out there, and he'd start chewing everybody's butt out, backside out, and even the water boy. So, I think these kids really got to get a fire on their backside and hope for the best on this.
Trips series. On the right side. Pass to Matthew Rotella-Kirschbaum.
Run over here somebody,
Rotella. And he's forced out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he got a little 6-yard pickup there.
So, got back the loss they had on the jet sweep, but that's going to bring up a 4th and 10 and force the Lions into another punting situation. A lot of pressure there from this very fast and very physical defensive front by All Saints. Their big nose guard, junior Blake Robinette, 6'4", 250 pounds, is somebody they're going to keep an eye on. There's a punt caught right at midfield, escapes a couple tackles, still on his feet, finally taken down. Big tackle there by number 75. Is that Bear Couch? I can't tell.
Well, Steve, what the first two offensive series went about 1:40 and then a minute on the last series. And if you're not going to be successful in getting points on the board, you better be able to sustain a drive.
Yep.
And 2.5 minutes of offense is not going to cut it against All Saints.
Slade Corley, Tristan Dare, Trevor Williams up front, Jake Ford in there as well, trying to put some additional pressure on All Saints here. 1st and 10 from the Lions. 36, just a little pitch. Started to go up the middle, brings it to the outside, stiff arms a man. Finally gets knocked down around the 30-yard line, stays in bounds. Strong run there by number 15, Elijah Johnson.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing right now of the defense so far, Steve, is I don't see that these shoulder pads are getting too far down like we talked about last week on the running game against Bishop Dunn. They're standing straight up. They really need to get those shoulder pads down and really get down on these offensive linemen, especially the bigger ones. You know what I mean? They are bigger. Get down low.
Yep. No doubt. Trips on the right, pass to the far side, complete. About the 25, escapes the tackle, finally taken down around the 20-yard line.
You named it, Steve. I don't see these kids fired up enough. I mean, that was double coverage over there, and he still completed the pass.
Yeah. Yeah, they're and again, this is just my observations, and I'm not being critical. I'm just saying it appeared even when we were coming in for warm-ups. All Saints was already on the field when the team arrived, and they walked in, and not a lot of pomp and circumstance, and the Lions just seemed like they kind of had their tail between their legs a little bit here. Pressure on Ryan.
Goodness
pass intended for number 15, excuse me. Falls incomplete, intended for Elijah Johnson.
We got some pressure on the quarterback at that position.
Yep.
And on that play, Steve, but, I mean, he had him right in the hands, so.
Yeah, Matthew Rotella-Kirschbaum
we'll take the mistakes if they're going to
get absolutely. Well, you got to capitalize on them, though, right?
Right.
All right, 2nd down and 10 for All Saints. They lead 7-0 here. 6 minutes, 35 seconds left here in the first quarter. There's a handoff to 25. Starts up the middle, cuts back to the near side, shakes a couple of guys, and walks into the end zone. Touchdown, All Saints.
I mean, there's nothing to say on that, Steve.
Yeah, this thing is going to be over quick, Jack, if you don't start putting a helmet on somebody.
The great Doug Atkins listening to us from Trophy Club.
Hey,
Thank
Doug.
you, Doug. Thank you,
Yeah,
Doug.
if you're listening tonight, folks, let us know. You can text us at 817-980-7994, 817-980-7994. Extra point is up and good. One more time, 817-980-7994. You can also chat with us on the Mixler chat. You can also chat with us on the YouTube chat. I'll pull that up. Hey, we want to give a shout-out, Jack, to Grandma Beck.
Yes.
Listening to us from Benbrook. That is Sarah Smith's mom, Noah Smith's grandmother.
We poked around a little bit and got your name. So
We
don't worry
did.
about it. Yeah.
Grandma Beck, we are glad you're listening right here from Benbrook, Texas. And
I'll be down at the Taco Casa down in Benbrook tomorrow.
No, he will
3
not.
to 3:30, signing autographs.
Oh, a full 35 minutes. Wow, that's impressive. Well, Mrs. Black listening, the math teacher from Grapevine Faith.
Ben Savage from Oklahoma City listening tonight. He's really got nothing going on now.
I'm sure the Sebecki family has quite a few listening. Well, 6 minutes, 29 seconds left here in the first quarter. All Saints leading 14-0. They've scored on both of their first two possessions. The Lions have been forced to punt in both of theirs. So very quickly needing to find some answers on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
I wonder if the Ruizes are listening tonight because they always count my God Bless Americas after a while. So tonight,
is that the over and under?
Yeah.
They should be here, though, are they not? Pretty sure they are. That kick will go through the end zone for another touchback.
Steve, when I used to play a lot of Madden football and I wanted to run the clock out, I usually start off with a run play. Get that clock running. I think I might do that here. I mean, get yourself the clock running, get a couple yards, get yourself under your feet underneath you, and then maybe start with the offensive, trickeration, so to speak.
Well, we just talked about the sheer size of this All Saints team. I mean, they are what they are, right? But you're going to have to figure out a way, and like I said, Jack, you got to find some energy. You got to find something. Somebody needs to step up and make a big play.
Yep.
Get some energy going. Snap back to Sebecki. He's looking to pass. Floats one up. Very dangerous play.
Mm-hmm.
Falls incomplete. Underthrown to Ben Wagner. So that falls incomplete.
Yeah, and you're going to have plays like that, Steve. It's just it probably got a little bit of a hand in there and probably knocked it away just a touch, just to throw it off its course, so to speak.
Well, we heard from Clayton earlier in the pregame that he's had a chance to mature this year and learn to spread the ball around, and he's enjoyed the quarterback position, making that transition from running back last year. Sebecki on the keeper. Has a nice hole, some room up the middle over the 35, out over the 40, and a first down for Grapevine Faith. Big play by Clayton Sebecki. Boy, you needed that one, Jack.
Yeah, and it's probably been there, just not enough room for him to make up 26 yards there.
Yeah, you can't put yourself in.
yards.
Yeah, you can't put yourself in third and 16 positions too often like they did on the last series.
Nope, keep the clock running just a touch, maybe get a score here on this drive, and then you're really kind of back in it.
So big run there by Clayton Sebecki. Clock running, 5:54 here in the first quarter. All Saints leading 14-0. Sebecki pump fake to Kirkestead. Throws
wide
one
open.
Looking for Ben Wagner. And the ball is tipped up, falls incomplete.
Oh, my gosh. Just needed a little more air underneath that.
Well, I think he had a little too much air, Jack. I think he just kind of floated a little bit.
Yeah. Wow, he was open, too.
Yep.
Maybe just a touch late, too.
They did a little fake to Triggerstead here on that kind of that wide receiver screen, and they bid on it. And Ben had a few steps on him. But there is a little bit of a breeze tonight. Nothing that's really measurable, nothing that's significant affecting ball flight, really.
Well, we're going to have Dr. Smith in here, but I might be critical if I was All Saints. There's not an American flag out here, is there?
They did bring the they had the.
They're not American, Steve. We got to beat these guys.
Here's a pass here on the near side of Nathan Triggerstead.
No, go forward.
Slips and trying to catch his balance. Was trying to get a block out there from Ben, but the All Saints defense did a good job of swarming that, and they gain of maybe a half yard. So it's basically 3rd and about 9, we'll call it.
At this point, you really just need to go forward. We talk about it, just going forward is really key to success on offense, not going backwards. That was 2 or 3 more extra yards if he had just run forward.
It's a big 3rd down play here for the
Outside,
Lions.
outside.
Snap
Throw
back.
the
There
flag.
should be, there is a penalty flag down. So free play here. Ben Wagner goes up and gets it. Nice catch by Ben. There's another penalty flag down on this end. Great play by Ben Wagner. So we should have an offside. I'm going to guess an offside and a defensive pass interference. Yeah, offside against All Saints. Offensive pass interference.
I don't. I'll tell you what, I did not see the offensive pass interference on that play. These San Antonio officials can go right back to San Antonio for all I care.
Well, that did not work. Free play there for the Lions. I did not see it either. And I mean, again, folks, we're going to try to be objective in here. We'll say, oh, yeah, I've been pushed off.
Why are we going to be objective? They're terrible officials.
So we're going to repeat 3rd down. This play's offset.
That's offside.
There's another offside penalty. Yep. And they're going to take that one here. Just going to throw it. So that's going to the All Saints a little bit eager in their pursuit to get into the backfield. So their second offsides in a row. I mean, they're talking it over. Surely it's not a false start on the
Let me help them out
Lions.
real quick. Offsides!
There we go, Jack. Exactly what we don't need to do, but there we go. Hey.
Well, a fan of me came out, Steve. Sorry.
There we go. All right, we'll see what the
I'm having fun, Steve.
all right. We
oh,
have
my
a
goodness.
false
You got to
start.
be kidding me.
False start against the Lions. So wow.
Goodness gracious.
All right. Well, officials coming over to tell Coach Holland what the deal is. So
yeah, we're really got this game in hand here, Coach Holland. Thank you. Whatever. Terrible officials already. Having fun, folks. Having fun.
3rd and 15. Clock running, 5 minutes, 25 seconds left here in the first quarter. Again, All Saints leading 14-0, scoring on both of their first possessions.
All right, we got this.
Lions had a big first down run by Clayton Sebecki, and have had a couple penalties here. Low snap to Sebecki.
That
pass is
that not
incomplete.
a hold right here?
Ben Wagner's jersey.
That's a hold, and that's a late hit on the quarterback. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, well, Clayton got hit late. Ben Wagner jersey was held the entire time. Folks, we're just going to call that what it is. That was awful. And unhappy coaches, players, and fans.
God bless America.
Well, that was not great. So the Saints will take over at their own 47-yard line, 1st and 10.
Goodness gracious, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that was really, really unfortunate. Trips on the far side.
That's
snap back.
False start, by the way.
Pass to the far side is complete.
Guys, we're going to have to step up.
Inside of Lions territory. Taking down about the 45-yard line. Yeah, Jack, I think you used to officiate some sort of sports, didn't you? I officiated high school basketball.
I did YMCA and Rockwall basketball.
I did. I officiated basketball when they switched from a 2-man to a 3-man crew, and we would talk about in pregame your areas of responsibility. And so if you're off ball, you're not watching the ball. You're looking for the screen underneath. And the same thing here.
That's right.
That back judge is not looking at interior line. He's looking at the receiver.
They keep false starting. They're getting a
pass across the middle is complete.
They're getting a half yard step ahead before the ball is snapped. Watch this, folks. When you're at home, watch this. So you're watching the play. The offensive lineman and the receiver is a half a step ahead, and you cannot change players when they have not substituted out. That should be a flag for too many men on the field or illegal substitution by Grapevine Faith. If the offense is not changing players out, we cannot change players out. You don't have enough time.
Well, watching from Corpus Christi, Luella and Bob Wallace, Bobby Holland's in-laws. They say go Lions. Appreciate you guys listening and watching on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. 1st and 10 for the Saints. They're at the Lions 15-yard line. There's a pass to the far side. Pass falls incomplete. Good coverage there by Ben Wagner. Intended for number 2, Blake Stovall.
I don't know if I can go on, Steve. I'm so angry at that last referee play on our possession.
Yeah, we're going to have to. When all those around you are losing their heads, Jack, you got to keep yours. So it's a famous poem or something somewhere I heard. 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 12-yard line.
Come on. Let's go, Grapevine.
Lions should use a big turnover here, something big play. There's a handoff.
Get
number
low.
15.
Get low. Good stop there.
Yep.
My goodness.
Tristan Dare in there on the stop. Nice play. Big play there by Tristan. A couple other Lions in there as well. Colin Abercrombie. We've mentioned Tristan's name. He's a freshman, big freshman this year. Has stepped up so huge. Talked about his dad, Trevor, who's literally probably the nicest person on the face of the planet. He is just an amazing guy.
Yeah, and his dad, his grandfather, Tristan's grandfather's listening from California. He likes us for some reason, Steve.
he was in person last week, so that was awesome to meet him in person.
He said, I don't even need to go to the game. I just want to meet you guys.
Big 3rd down play.
That's a hold.
There's a pass that is complete down to about the 1-yard line.
How is he that open?
Austin Bowling coming off with his helmet. His shoulder, his jersey's over his shoulder pad. His helmet was ripped off of his head.
It's not that hard to see, Steve.
Yeah.
I hate to be that guy again. It's coming out, isn't it?
Both teams making some substitutions. So probably something right up the gut would be my guess. Ball spot at the 1-yard line. We're still 2 minutes, 52 seconds left here in the first quarter. Lions looking for a big stop here. Bad snap, ball's down the ground. They pick it up, and they're in the end zone for a touchdown.
Golly, these guys are going to have to step it up. The guy was not even touched, Steve.
Yeah. I'm not sure what to say. I think sitting up 85, he said, 85 or 86. Yeah. So they got Coach Will Music just came in to ask how many guys are on the roster. So,
well, at some point you got to have a little bit of a kind of grit in yourself. You coached all week and you got a game in, but you really got to dig deep and pull it up.
Extra point is good. So, well, the Lions have found themselves in a hole very quickly. We are still in the first quarter. All Saints leading 21-0. We'll try to get you some scores around the around taps here. Jack, you got to turn your thing down there, man. You got.
Oh, so sorry.
85. Yeah, they're coaching. Yeah, the small college team they've got here, Jack, suiting up 85 kids for this game. I mean, if you got them, suit them up, right? I mean, it's not illegal. Last I checked. Jack, you got quiet on me. What happened? Am I up in your Kool-Aid?
No. You're fine. I'm trying to gather my thoughts, Steve.
Yeah, you said you had thoughts for when it gets quiet, and it's gotten quiet because we're facing a very, very good football team, and you're down 21-0 still in the first quarter.
Very good football team. You got to come out. You got to have some gumption, and you got to have perfection. And we have seen nothing from the squad so far in this game. Well, and the refs are playing for the other team as well. I swear I saw that ref have an All Saints T-shirt on underneath that striped jersey.
Well, you had a really huge second down run by Clayton Sebecki, which got the ball out by midfield.
Well,
and then you had two penalties that we had an offensive pass interference penalty against Ben Wagner, which was laughable, and then you had him being held on the next play.
Well, I don't know if I'd do this if that was All Saints.
There's Sebecki. Brings it out to about the 25, so about the same as a touchback.
Yep.
So we'll try to give you some scores from around the area, or at least within taps. Lubbock Christian up 40-6 over Mercy Culture Prep in the third quarter.
Whoa.
Jack can give you some other ones here shortly.
Oh, sorry, Steve.
No, you're good. You're good.
Well, I'll tell you, this Midlothian and Northwest High School, the Texans over there in Northwest, that's a pretty good little ball game. 14-10 in the second quarter.
All right. The UIL score there. Hand off to Matthew Vitella-Kirschbaum, who's hit immediately. Ball is down on the ground. Clayton Sebecki falls on it.
I think what I would, what you're trying to do on these first couple drives is figure out what's going to work. And I haven't seen, other than the Clayton Sebecki run, I think I might try to focus on that just a touch if we can.
Yeah. Well, I would say I think Clayton would be the first to tell you that he's not pleased with his first couple of passes to Ben. Now they changed it up a little bit. Trips here on the near side with the single receiver on the far side. Snap back to Sebecki. Pass here to Nathan Trigestad. Ball is, they give him forward progress out to the 25. The ball came loose, but his forward progress was stopped at the 25-yard line.
I'd like to see Trigestad get a little more stronger with the ball and maybe make a couple extra moves forward and just try to knock out some yardage if he can.
A little more north-south and east-west is what you're suggesting. So
yeah, we've kind of missed the trying to make an extra move. We just need to get yardage.
Well, 3rd down and 9, and again, Lions in a third and long situation. Just trying to find some answers here. Give credit to All Saints, man. They're big and they're fast. There's Clayton on a keeper. Gets out over the 30-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down. And it's going to bring up a 4th and 3. And the offense stays on the field.
Yeah, I don't think you have a choice at this point, Steve.
You're down 21 with a minute left here in the first quarter. And the offense is going to stay on the field, see if they can't pick this first down up.
If we don't get some offense going here, Steve, I'm going to start telling Texas Tech stories, and you're not going to like that.
I'm going to.
There you go. There you go.
Pass to Noah Smith. Goes up and gets it. Nice play. That's going to be enough for a first down. So nice pass and catch from Clayton Sebecki to Noah Smith. So if Grandma Beck is listening in Benbrook, Grandma Beck has a nice catch there by your grandson. Oh, hey, Tristan's mom is also watching.
Yeah.
I want to make sure we give a shout-out to her. That's awesome. Apologies, we didn't know that, but, man, your son is quite the football player, and we've enjoyed calling his name a lot. It's a pass here. Oh, almost intercepted. That would have been a pick six. Almost picked off there by Sean Quigley, intended for Nathan Trigestad. Ben Wagner had gone deep on a fly route, and Nathan was here on the near side. Double coverage.
Liberty Christian 28, Bishop Dunn nothing, second quarter. Legacy Christian 14, Southwest Christian nothing, second quarter.
All right. That's that playoff games there elsewhere in TAPS. 2nd down and 10 for the Lions from their own 39-yard line. Play action. Pass here to the near side to Noah Smith.
Go, Noah. No.
He's hit hard. He pops. Yep, he's up. There we go. Played a possum there for a second, but a big play by Noah Smith. And pops up.
This is what I would have liked to have seen, Steve, in the first 2 drives. Just a long kind of sustained drive, clock running. Well, they stopped the clock. I guess they must have got out of bounds.
Well, they've got. I don't know why the clock is not running because they've got the markers. He was in bounds.
I think he landed out of bounds.
Did he land out of bounds? Okay, all right. Apologies.
They stopped the clock, but right. I'm with you. It looked like he was in bounds.
Normally they'll stop it just to get the chain set, but then they'll restart it. But he must have been out of bounds. So 3rd down and 2, right around midfield. Keeper by Sebecki here to the near side.
Go.
Finally taken down. Big play there by number 5, Darius Carquillet. 6'4", 210-pound defensive end for the Saints. And an actual loss on the play, Jack. So that's going to do it for the end of the first quarter. Mercifully, the first quarter ends, but not until the All Saints team puts up 21. Well, Jack, we sound like a broken record saying they've got to find some answers, but at the end of the day, you just got to do it, right? I mean, we can talk about, hey, they need to do this, try this, sustain drives, all those things that they do need to do, but you're going to have just to execute. And you can't worry about the officiating, and you got to play your game. You can't worry about the other team. All Saints, they're suiting up 85 players tonight, Coach Beck told me. So you've got a big contingency. They've got backups to their backups. Jack, you getting some scores here?
Well, I'm trying to, Steve.
You look like you're playing Minesweeper or something over here.
I'm trying to gather my thoughts.
Grapevine Faith cheerleaders on the sideline trying to get the crowd into it and get them pumped up.
Lubbock Christian 48, Mercy Culture Prep 6, third quarter.
So 4th down and 3. Lions from their own 46-yard line. It looks like they're in punt formation. Ben Wagner. Nope, it's going to keep it. He's going to keep it on the runner, and he's got the first down. Nice play there by the Lions. Good call, Jack. I like that call.
Was that me that called that? Yeah, it was a good call. In my mind, I'm thinking, why are we doing that? But now I see why we're in punt formation. Prairie Dog in it.
Jensen Anthony in at the left tackle position for this play. We'll see what happens. If he can hold his man. Snap back to Sebecki. The keeper, he's hit immediately and taken back. They stop his forward progress at the.
I don't know who Jensen Anthony's man was, but it wasn't the only man that was in the backfield.
There was a slew of Saints in there. That big defensive line, man, they are just massive. Their entire team is just, they've got size.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that the down the middle is a play call that I would make for Sebecki, especially with the size of the defensive line that All Saints is running. Well, get him out on the outside. Let him use the speed to get on the outside. Oh, Celeste is up 7-0 over Seymour, second quarter, by the way.
2nd down and 12. Lions at their own 49-yard line. Snap back to Sebecki. Pass caught.
God, what a catch.
Great catch there by Charlie Bunch.
Nice catch, Charlie Bunch.
Out close to a Lions first down, back inside of All Saints territory. So you bring up 3rd down and 2. So a beautiful catch there by Charlie Bunch on the pass from Clayton Sebecki.
Hands there, brought it in, and then went down. Perfect play. You're in 4-down territory, Steve, I think, in this quarter.
Yep.
Especially when we cross the 50.
Jensen Anthony's grandparents, Rick and Pam Jensen, listening from Richardson. Big 3rd down play here for the Lions. Hand off to Matthew Batella-Kirschbaum. He's hit.
I think I'd like to see us get to the ball on the outside. I think we're not going to get anything on the inside, Steve, because of that defensive line. Big guys. I mean, no knock on the play calling. I'm just saying that you're not going to be able to make it with the guys that you're going against.
Well, they are on the field. You mentioned 4-down territory, down 21-0 here in the just started the second quarter. The Lions are going to go for it. 4th and 2. Coach Ware making some adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Matthew Batella-Kirschbaum switches sides behind Clayton Sebecki. Snap back. Pass goes up. Nathan Triggerstead with the catch. That's going to be enough for Lions first down. Still on his feet. They finally blow the play dead.
Yeah, nice catch there by Triggerstead. And again, the kids are looking the ball in their hands and making the catch with their hands. They're not bringing it into their body, and they're watching it all the way in. So good form for these receivers so far.
Noah and Nathan both with 2 really good catches. Hey, want to give a shout out to the one and only Jagger Thompson, who's watching tonight.
Great Jagger Thompson.
Love me some Jagger. Jagger, hey buddy, thanks for watching. Pass by Clayton Sebecki, thrown up, almost intercepted. Intended for Ben Wagner. Hank Parrish, senior defensive back, almost comes up with an interception, but
Steve, it's 2nd down here, but this is the play. This is the drive we were talking about. They took over 2:44 left in the first quarter, and now it's down to 8:57. These are the kind of drives that we need to sustain. Hey, get a score here. It's 21-7. You're not out of it. You gotta make a defensive stop. Kind of puts a little energy in the defense a little bit. Let's see what they can do here. Get Sebecki to the outside. That's what I want to see.
2nd down and 10. Sebecki pass to the far side. Oh, that's
throw a flag.
How was that?
Gracious.
Oh my gosh. Ben Wagner went up and was defenseless. The pass went over him, and the guy clocked him right in front of the official, and absolutely nothing was thrown. Unbelievable. How do you watch that?
It was 5 feet over his head. These guys can go back to San Antonio. I'll tell you that right now,
look, we can talk about missed calls here and there, but when you got guys getting hurt, I do not know how in the world you swallow your flag right there. How do you not throw a flag?
Bobby Holland is
Coach
still on
Holland
the field.
he is beside
staring it
himself.
down.
I don't blame him. I'd be upset too. Coach Holland has every right to be out there when you've got an official that's going to sit there and eat his flag like that. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. And he's telling the linesman on this side, hey, you need to get on your headset and tell that guy to wake up. All right, well, big third down play, 3rd and 10 here for the Lions. Charlie Bunch in the pattern now for Ben. Pass here to the near side to Noah Smith. Caught inside the 30, picks up a block. Takes it down close to the 25-yard line, stays in bounds. It's going to be 4th down, but they cut that yardage needed down significantly, Jack, with a nice catch there by Noah Smith.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there by Noah Smith. And again, get it down to 3 yards. That's manageable on – oh, my –
hold on, Jack. What happened? Oh, trying to get some points on the board here. Just trying to get some momentum going. Josh Horwood with a 43-yard attempt. Snap is good. Kick is up, and it is no good. Missed off to the right. Yeah, Jack, I know that you've been moving the ball, but if you get some points on the board there, you have something to show for it. Trying to get something going. But the defense now has got to come up. The real critical play there in that series was the no call when Ben Wagner, defensive receiver, and the ball was 5 feet over his head, got absolutely trucked by the defensive back. And the back judge did absolutely nothing. So that's really, really unfortunate. Field judge, I should say.
Well, you shouldn't be dependent on the referees to advance the ball, but at the same time, that was a missed call, and that was poorly officiated.
Well, the Lions now defense having to step up. Man in motion here to the near side. There's a handoff to number 25, takes it around the left side. Lions hit him initially. Oh, big hit there. So finally taken down.
I don't know who that was. Can't see that far.
No gain on the play. Clock stops, 7:50. There's a flag down. 7 minutes, 55 seconds left here in the second quarter. Lions trailing 21-0 to All Saints.
Oh, my goodness. What are they calling here? Hands to the face?
Personal foul, face mask against the Lions. Well, they saw that without any issues, but Caden and Ryan Anholt are watching, and they're feeding Colby Anholt some updates via text. So, Ryan, always great to have you guys. Be looking forward to a great baseball season, watching Caden Anholt and the rest of the Lions on the field. Pass here to the near side. Colin Abercrombie being held. Finally, the ball is down. Ball goes out of bounds. Yeah, Jack, it's one of those things that's super frustrating when you can't seem to catch a break, and then there's penalties not called that everybody in the entire stadium sees them, and then you have some calls against you. It's a lethal combination, unfortunately. Defense looking to step up here now. Corley brothers on the field at the same time. Slade Corley in there at nose guard. Christian Corley back as a safety position. Snap back. Hand off to number 25. Fights through. There's a penalty flag down. Anticipate a hold coming. Yep. Slade Corley got tackled before the running back got tackled. So that should back him up. Surely that's not against the Lions.
They're moving forward.
They're having a longer conversation than what would normally take for a holding call. Normally it's had a hold on number 55 or whatever. They're talking this over. Personal foul. A chop block. Okay. Against the Lions. I am absolutely dumbfounded.
What in the heck is going on out there? We're not blocking anybody.
I'm so confused. Yeah, Coach Topping out there as well, along with Coach Holland.
I'm about to leave you, Steve, and start yelling at this ref from the sidelines. My goodness gracious, we're not blocking anybody.
Yeah, I don't know how we have a chop block on the defense. Wow. Yeah, folks, look, if the Lions end up losing this game, it won't be because of the officiating. The All Saints, they're up 21-0 here in the second quarter, 7 minutes left. Give them credit. But my goodness, this officiating crew, already in the first half, has shown to be really, really inefficient.
And this back judge is messing around over there, and this guy, the ref's not even on the field yet. My goodness gracious.
I'm Barry Irwin's trying to explain it.
And Coach Holland I think Coach Holland is confused as well too, because we're all confused.
We're all confused. Yeah, Barry, I'm not saying you're wrong, brother. I'm just saying I can't understand it. And I get you saying you can't hit them low. How in the world you call that? You can see all that activity in the middle of the interior line, but you don't see Ben Wagner, completely defensive receiver, get clocked on an incomplete pass 5 feet over his head. That's the mystery to me.
Oh, Barry is saying it's a new rule.
Yeah, I got a couple of folks texting in, Jack.
That they need me to stop talking about the refs?
No, that's just their frustrations, too, that the officiating, hoping that, we just make it off the field.
Subpar at best tonight.
Yeah, this is the first-round playoff game, and you typically, this is an opportunity. This is when teams are stepping up, trying to put their best foot forward. The officiating crew, you would suspect that they would pick, some of the best, but, man, they missed this one. Sorry, San Antonio chapter, but, man.
We're never going to call the San Antonio chapter again.
They're trying to get the clock running. Finally starts. 7 minutes left here in the second quarter. There's Ryan with the pass to the end zone. Back corner. And that's complete for a touchdown. Well, not what the Lions wanted. $27-0 All Saints trying to add the extra point here.
Well, Steve, if you sustain a drive here, you get a touchdown, you're still in this game. But you're really going to have to step up on the defensive side of the ball. Now, I'm not saying anything's wrong with these kids that are playing. It's just that these guys are good, so you're really going to have to play your best, right?
Yep. Well,
and sometimes the good guys don't win, Steve. That's also.
Sabecki and Caker in full support. Becky Caker, the sweet family from the Sabeckis. And, I hear you, grandmother. It's hard to watch. I'm not sure I can watch this either. It's not great. Uncle Brad watching from Atlanta. Sabecki family, you guys cheer a little bit louder. We need you. Frustrating first quarter and a half here for the Lions, not only from the scoreboard standpoint, and I hate to keep harping on it, Jack, but it really, I think, you said it. If you score there on that drive, that last drive of the Lions is 21-7, and it changes the complexity at least a little bit, if for the next drive anyway, maybe, right?
And that's what I would think in this next couple of offensive series. What I would do is try to get it to be third and short, or fourth and short at this point. You're really going to have to start going for it on fourth down here, especially when you cross the 50-yard line. Field goals aren't going to do anything for you.
Well, I will say, I don't even know what to say. I'm so frustrated. I think, again, my frustration is you have an eagle eye on a chop block against the defense on the interior line, but you don't see in front of everybody a hit on a defensive receiver. I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. So Sabecki brings it out over the 30, out closer to the 35-yard line, where the Lions will take over in 1st and 10. Trailing 28-0, 6 minutes, 49 seconds left here in the first half.
Well, let's dig deep. Let's dig deep there.
Yep.
Let's go, Steve.
Need to move the ball here.
I'm going to need you to step up your game as well, Steve.
I'm going to try to put on my A game here.
Yeah, let's go.
Matthew Kirschbaum in the backfield next to Clayton Sebecki. Snap back. Sebecki on the keeper. He swallowed up immediately. Taken down for loss of about 1. Man, that line, defensive line, is so powerful, so strong.
They're in the backfield before he can actually execute on a play fake.
Yeah.
And that's no knock on the offensive line. They're just huge.
Yep. Yeah, I know the offensive line averages 250. Number 72 for the All Saints, that nose tackle, 5'11", 297. So that's what you're dealing with.
Good luck on blocking that.
Yeah. 55 is 5'11", 270. So I thought the offensive line was big. This defensive line is huge as well. Pass out to the side to Nathan Tregestad's complete, out over the 40, 35, at close to the 40-yard line.
A nice little catch and run there. Going to bring it about third and less than 5. I mean, that's now you're in 4 down territory.
Yeah. Well, they moved the back, so they got it spotted at the 40-yard line. So 3rd down and 4. They need to get to their own 44-yard line. Clock stop just inside of 6 minutes. Pass complete to Nathan Tregestad out close to midfield. That's a first down for the Lions and a big play from Clayton Sebecki to Nathan Tregestad.
You know, that was a nice passing catch there by Tregestad, and he's starting to go forward with the ball. That's good too.
Yep.
And
boy,
and it's not comfortable catching that ball in the middle of that
traffic
either.
Nope. Right, going across the middle, you know you're going to get hit.
Yep.
So first down for the Lions from their own 49. Sebecki looking to pass. Intended for Charlie Bunch. Good coverage there by the Saints. Did a little fake here to Noah here on the near side, and the defensive back stayed with Charlie the whole way. Well, we talked about this, Jack. It's win or go home for both teams, and sure don't want the Lions season to end this way.
Steve, we're still just in the second quarter. I don't know why you're acting like that. We still have a lot of time left on the clock. I'm just watching Ben. They try to.
Good play there by Noah Smith to go up and play defender.
And I'm being honest with you. I don't think he has enough time to make a pass that deep. I think you've got to shorten these routes a touch. Even the jet sweep fake, they're already in the backfield by the time Ben gets to the area in which you want to throw that jet sweep. But they got to shorten these routes up a little bit. Just give Clayton some time to throw the ball.
Make some noise. It's 3rd down.
So big 3rd down play here. Third and 10 from their own 49, excuse me. Sebecki trying to get out of the grasp. Gets just inside of All Saints territory, but that's well short of the first down.
Yeah.
Well, that must have been 3rd down. That
was 3rd down.
Okay. The marker on this side, on the near sideline, said 4th down.
These are not pros on this down marker, by the way, Steve. Just so you know. I've been watching.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, turn the chat off. Some just ridiculous, unnecessary comments on there. So appreciate you watching the game, and hopefully you're going to watch it and support everybody, including our people out here volunteering. Pass complete to Noah Smith here on the near side.
Great pass and catch there.
Yeah,
and Noah got his toes down, and that's awesome.
Noah and Nathan both here, especially in the second quarter, have had some great catches on key plays.
Yeah, and Noah's coming back next year. These are the kind of players you want to see out there a little bit and get some experience for next year as well. Just keep driving the ball here, Steve.
Blake Robinette, the big 6'4", 250-pound nose tackle.
Yeah.
Almost caught by Ben Wagner. Yeah, be interested to talk to my son Jensen after the game. He's lined up against that big nose guard. He's going to sleep good tonight, I'm sure. That entire offensive line is. They're having this is a big line that they're facing, and Clayton having to fight through some tackles as well. So 2nd down and 10 after that incomplete pass. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left here in the first half. Saints leading 28-0. Snap back to Sebecki. Pass here to the near side.
Ooh, I don't know about
Incomplete,
that one,
yep.
Steve.
It was close. I think it was right there, right at the point of contact, right as the ball got there. Noah got hit. Yeah, it was. That was a much closer call than the other stuff we've seen. It was just, like I said, we're all sitting there scratching our head and going, how in the world did you miss that?
Yeah, and if you guys are making chats on that YouTube, we'll track you down. Don't worry about it. That are inappropriate.
Well, again, this is a high school football game. We got people volunteer their time, and we got people taking, if you want to see the game really bad, I guess show up in person.
Yeah.
Right? Showing some pressure here to Blitz on Sebecki. Gets out of the grasp. Oop, makes a move. Nice move. Oh,
darn it.
Almost gets out of the grasp, but a nice play there by number 45. Tackles Clayton Sebecki for a loss, and that's going to bring up a long fourth down play.
Yeah, makes you think about this one, Steve. We talked about 4-down territory, but it's 4th and 20.
Well, I will say the kid who's had just unbelievable resilience this year is number 2, Clayton Sebecki.
Yeah.
Because that kid has shown up at every football game this year knowing that he is going to be targeted, not only from a strategic standpoint, but also literally.
Yeah.
Several targeting, late hit
schools?
calls.
Let's start naming schools, Steve.
Yeah.
I can name them one
yeah.
at least.
Yeah, I can name a couple. But anyway, my point is that Clayton has been an unbelievably mature young man about it. You heard Coach Holland say this multiple times, that he's the most competitive kid he's ever coached in his entire time of coaching. And Clayton just wants to win, and he's put this team on his back so many times and led from the front and taken so many hits. After that Fort Worth Christian game, good grief, I think he spent a week in the ice bath trying to nurse all the wounds and late hits and so forth that he experienced in that game. But, yeah, just credit him for really stepping up this year, and the rest of the team as well. I'm not singling Clayton out. Nobody else is giving effort, but just, again, the kid who you know is going to get hit 100 times a game. So Coach Ware trying to give some instruction to the offense here, Jack. You're down 28-0. Looks like Ben might be. Yeah, Ben's going to go back in a punt situation, which at this point you're trying to manage field position. 3 minutes, 41 seconds left here in the first half. Reminder coming up at halftime, our Stories of Faith with Coach Sean Mingeldorf.
Oh,
good
what
punt
a punt
there by Ben Widener.
yeah.
Big punt.
Okay, watch the refs.
Inside
now watch the refs,
yep,
Steve.
ball
They'll line up the ref over here.
went inside the 10-yard line. Yep, there we go. Yeah, Coach Sean Mingeldorf, head boys soccer coach, varsity soccer coach, and assistant athletic director. Had a great visit with him, and we'll play that at halftime. Also see the Lionettes and the
I might run back
varsity
over
cheer squad.
I might run back over at JD's at halftime and get another burger.
JD's, that was good, man.
Yeah,
that was really good.
I'm kidding, April. If you're still watching, I didn't have 2 burgers today.
Well, I didn't either. I had a burger and a half. We're gonna get technical about it.
I don't want to turn you in, but
yeah, I'm busted. I'm busted. Busted already. All right, All Saints from their own 10-yard line. Pass out to the far side, complete. Picked up a couple of blocks. Spilled around the 16-yard line. Nice tackle there by Clayton Sebecki. Connor McCurdy with the reception.
Got to get those defensive pads low, and they're hurrying up too. These guys are really going to dig deep here, this defense for Grapevine Faith.
3 minutes, 10 seconds left here in the first half. Lions trailing 28-0. Looking to pass, chased out of the pocket by Tristan Dare. Makes a couple of spin moves. Still on his feet, breaks a couple of tackles, breaks it here to the near side.
Now pop him. Now pop him.
Finally taken down around the 35-yard line.
Goodness gracious. Somebody's got to put a lick on this guy. Steve?
Yep.
I mean it properly, not in the dirty way.
Yeah, we talked about just somebody stepping up and making a big play somewhere along the way, Jack. And, yeah, there's hard to argue that needs to happen.
Well, he ran through 3 guys.
Clock continues to run. 2 minutes, 35 seconds now. He's still left in the first half. Again, your Lions trailing 28-0. Snap back to Ryan. He hands off to number 15.
That's a hold right there. I'm watching a hold right here.
Still on his feet.
Goodness gracious.
Finally taken down around midfield.
Well, when you're bigger and you're holding.
Down to midfield.
The double whammy.
And that will be good enough for another Saints first down.
Oh.
Clock continues to run. We're just right at 2 minutes left in the first half. Ball right at midfield. 1st and 10 for All Saints.
Really need to stop here, Steve. You may not, get the ball back, but you got to get a stop in here.
Ryan looking to pass. Keeps it. Yeah. Ryan Purdue got absolutely tackled on the play. No call.
I'm not going to say anything more, Steve. I can't do it anymore.
First down on that play by the Saints. Takes it to the 35-yard line. 1:40 left. Two receivers on the far side, one on the near side for the Saints. Play action pass. Ryan looking to pass to the far side, and he catches it complete out inside the 30-yard line.
I mean, I like keeping the receiver in front of you, but we got to step up a little bit. We got to tighten up the defense just a touch, especially here with only.
Well, you got safety help there, so probably need to, like you said, maybe a little more press coverage. Snap back to Ryan, looking to pass. Screen pass here on the near side, complete to number 25. Nice open field tackle there by Ben Wagner.
Yeah.
Gets inside the 25. That's enough for a first down. Stops the clock momentarily with 48 seconds left as they reset the chains. Clock underway. Saints trying to put more points on the board. The Saints will receive the opening kickoff for the second half.
Comonte Williams is a big kid over here on this side of the field.
Play action. Ryan looking to pass. Plenty of protection. Tackle made by number 77 on one of our offensive linemen. That's a touchdown. Yeah, Tristan Dare's jersey's ripped off his shoulder pads. Jack, I don't really know if the official's watching it. He's literally staring at it. And no call.
Well, the bad news is All Saints going to get the ball back in the second half, start the second half as well.
They're up 34-0.
I mean, he didn't get touched till the 1 yard line.
Snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is good as well.
Oh, that's never mind. I'm gonna hold my comment to myself.
35-0 now. All Saints up on the Lions. 25 seconds left here in the first half.
Goodness gracious. Hello, Steve. How you doing over there?
Yeah, we talk about it. Folks, we really do. We talk about off the air about not wanting to be, the phrase, the homers and all that.
Yeah, we do. We want to be homers.
No, seriously. We talk about trying to be objective. We want to put a quality product out there when we do our broadcasts, and we want to really just kind of tell what's happening. But I'll tell you, the frustration is when you've got kids at risk of getting hurt because of, the actions or inactions of officials, it's super frustrating. And I get it. They're human. They're going to make mistakes. But, again, my frustration is how do you see something on the interior line with, 20 guys in there, but you don't see something that's blatantly right in front of you. You don't see that. It's confusing to me. So, anyway, All Saints is going to kind of semi-pooch it, I guess, but Clayton's going to catch it at the 20. Loses the ball, picks it up, and taken down at the 24-yard line.
Goodness gracious, Steve.
So the Lions will take over 1st and 10 there. 21 seconds left.
I guess I could go to JD's Burgers, get a burger, and not come back for the second half, and you can handle the rest of this.
Right?
Kidding. Let's go, Faith.
Couple of scores here from Tammy Peden. The Regents over Woodland, 14-0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely destroyed Woodlands earlier this year.
I guess Liberty's that was 14-0. I think they're up bigger now. We'll get an update on that. They were up over Southwest Christian 14-0. Or is that Legacy Christian? Apologies. Ben Wagner in motion. Pitch to Ben. Looking to pick up some blocks. Cuts back towards the middle of the field, and he's taken down. Loss of about 4 yards on the play. So that's a little different play than what we've seen. And like we said, Jack, they got to try something new. They got to try something different, and they're doing it. Just this All Saints team is so dadgum fast and so big.
Yeah, I'm just going to call it a half, go back in there. Hey, you know what? They hung 35 on us in the first half. We can hang 35 on them in the second half, Steve.
Well, that is the end of the first half. All Saints 35, nothing over your Grapevine Faith Lions.
Boo.
Well, again, what coming up shortly, our visit with Coach Sean Mingeldorf. And we'll plan to bring you the halftime performances of the Lionettes and the Grapevine Faith cheerleaders. Bethany Powers. Hey, we got to give a shout out to Bethany Powers.
She's not listening.
Who is not listening, and this is us not giving a shout out to Bethany Powers.
Hey, we've got some time here, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. No, they only give us a 15-minute halftime.
15 minutes, yeah. Well, I got a 16-minute halftime with Coach Sean Mingeldorf. So
right,
we'll go to
ahead.
that right now.
We go, bye.
Going to the Stories of Faith. We're at halftime of the first round playoff game between the Grapevine Faith Lions and Fort Worth All Saints. And so time for our Stories of Faith segment. This gives us an opportunity to tell you about just some of the most amazing people on the planet right here at Grapevine Faith Christian School and their stories. And this week, I had the privilege of sitting down with Coach Sean Mingeldorf. Coach, excited to tell your story and just appreciate the time. Thanks for sitting down with me.
No, absolutely. It's an honor.
Well, you're in your 6th year here at Grapevine Faith, and you're head varsity boys soccer coach, and you're assistant athletic director. You've held some other positions, but I know those keep you busy. But nothing's more keeps you busier. Nothing's more important than being a husband and a father. So tell us about the Mingeldorf family, Abby, the kids, all that.
Yes, yeah. Married to Abby. We've been married for just over 7 years. We've got 3 little kids. Hudson, my daughter, she's in 1st grade here at Faith. She's 6 years old. And then Shepherd, my son, he's 3. Goes to a school, Reading Friends in Keller. And then we just had our 3rd about 2.5 weeks ago. So kind of fresh out and yeah, we're staying busy right now.
That's awesome.
It's a fun time of life.
No doubt. Nothing better. Well, you graduated from Southern Nazarene University in Bethany, Oklahoma, and you played soccer there for 3 years. And unbeknownst to me, until I did a little research on you, you were a kicker for the football team for a year. Tell us about that.
I was, yes, yeah. So I went and was originally planning on going to OU after graduating. Had applied. Had my roommate was ready to go. I was just going to be a student, and probably about like late May. I just had this feeling of I'm not ready to be done with soccer yet. I just wasn't quite ready to be done, but I didn't have a scholarship, anything like that. So I had been in talks with the head coach at Southern Nazarene, which is my local town, and was able to walk on there. And then over the years, built up my scholarship. And so fast forward a little bit, we get through preseason of my senior year. I had switched my major to athletic training as the end of my junior year. I was coaching high school soccer as well, and
Okay.
the AD there said, hey, in order for us to pay you, you've got to go take this class, sports and medicine, care and prevention of athletic injuries. And I took this class. I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. And so I switched my major into my junior year. So start my senior year, starting to soccer, finish preseason workouts. And I just kind of had this stirring like, man, you know what? I need to really focus on school. It's time to hang up the cleats. And so made a tough decision and hung up the soccer cleats.
Wow.
And really just dove into the sports med program. I had a lot of clinical hours I had to make up. And my first rotation as a senior was with the football team. So I'm a student athletic trainer out there. And I kicked in high school also. And so before the home games, myself and a couple of the other student ATs, we'd go do a field goal challenge. And so before, it was probably the first home game, we get out there and we'd kick field goals, and if you make one, you back up and just go until you miss. And one of the assistant coaches saw us kicking out there, and he saw me kick, and I didn't think anything of it. He didn't say anything. But the next week, their starting kicker got hurt. And I mean, the head coach approaches me soon after and says, "Hey, I hear that you can kick." And I said, "I haven't kicked since high school," but he said, "Well, you played soccer too." Yeah. He said, "I want you to come try out for me." So I went and kicked for him a little bit, and he said, "All right, you're our guy." And he gave me a scholarship right there on the spot.
Wow.
And I kicked that year. And it was a really phenomenal year. Had a really great team at Southern Nazarene. We ended up winning conference, and was the third leading scorer on the team as the kicker that year. So
happened very serendipitously, sounds like.
Wow, yeah,
that's awesome.
Very unexpected.
Well, you talked about growing up during that part of Oklahoma, near Bethany. Tell us about your childhood, kind of your family, how you grew up, kind of what you did as a kid, those type of things.
Yeah. I grew up just outside of Bethany, Oklahoma City, but went to school in Bethany, small town. All my sisters went to the same school, about the same size as Faith. My graduating class was 98. And the district was so small in Bethany that it basically was a small private school, but it was public, right? So,
Gotcha.
So majority of the school was transfer students. And so they just were able to kind of let people in. In fact, nowadays people will go camp out to get into that school because it's just this good quality school in the middle of the surrounding schools just aren't super solid. And so, I grew up there, born and raised, and absolutely loved it. Went to church there, right there in Bethany. I mean, my life really took place in Bethany, Oklahoma. Graduated from Southern Nazarene and ended up getting accepted into the master's program here at Dallas Baptist University, and that's what brought me to Texas.
Well, that's a perfect lead into my next question. It sounds like you've kind of been involved with sports your entire life, and you graduated from Southern Nazarene, as you mentioned. You came to DBU, and right after that, you got your master's of science in kinesiology.
Correct.
After that, took a job at the Covenant School of Dallas, where you athletic trainer, head varsity girls soccer coach, and strength and conditioning coach before Faith was able to snatch you up. So talk about that. How did Faith get you over here? How we land you here, man?
Yeah, you look back in your life and you can see God's direction, right? You don't always see it in the moment, but there's just clear times where you will look back on and you say, yes, I totally see God was moving in this, right? So I'm coaching girls varsity soccer at Covenant, and we scheduled a game. My boys coach scheduled us a game to play here at Grapevine. I didn't know anything about Grapevine, Faith. And so I just thought, here's another game. So we show up. It was one evening, like a Tuesday or Thursday evening. There was like this fog in the sky. And I show up, and here's this school, this little pocket inside a neighborhood, and it just had this strange aura to it. I'm not even kidding. Like, I got here and I was like, man, this is a cool place. Like, where are we right now? And so I walk across the field, meet Coach Cat, meet John Brooks for the first time, and just was very impressed. Like, man, those are awesome people. And Cat just took it to us. Man, they thumped us. They beat us 10-1. And just worked us up and down the field. And we're at a smaller school over there. And so we had a good team for our division. But obviously Grapevine Faith girls soccer is on another level.
No doubt.
And so I'm over there coaching my girls, and I just remember smiling. Like, I'm a lover of soccer, right? And I was watching good soccer again. And I just could appreciate, we were getting thrashed, but I could just appreciate watching Faith girls soccer because they just moved the ball so well. And so, ended up just getting crushed that night, but had a great experience through it. And my wife and I, just probably about a month or so later, we decided, hey, we're going to sell our house in Dallas. We need to kind of get out of Dallas. We were just tired of the hustle and bustle, and moved out to Roanoke. Found a house in Roanoke. And as we were talking about our future, that's a long commute from Roanoke over to Dallas. Abby said, why don't you just apply to a few schools around here? So I start looking at some private schools, and Liberty's just right down the road from where we live. And then there was us, and I knew Fort Worth Christian was there. And I said, you know what? There was something about Grapevine Faith. I'm going to email John. And so my plan was to email multiple schools and just put out feelers. But for some reason, I don't know why, I only emailed John Brooks. And I said, hey man, we met back in December. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. I don't see an athletic trainer position open anywhere, but wanted to reintroduce myself. If anything ever opens up, would love to talk to you. Well, he responds and says, man, God is good. we literally have just started talking about hiring our first full-time athletic trainer.
Wow.
And he said, but we don't know what that looks like. And so would you mind coming in and would you answer some questions for us, maybe help shape this position for us as we look? And I said, yeah, I'd love to. And so I came in one time and we just kind of started dreaming, like, here's how I would run this and start this program. And here's, eventually into a student athletic training program. And so we had a good talk, and I left, and he mailed me back and said, hey, Sean, thank you so much for coming in. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the budget this year, so we don't have a position for you. But if and when the time comes, I'm going to reach out to you. I'll let you know. So, thanks. Appreciate that. So I let 2 weeks go by, and the spirit was just moving in me. I mean, like, I just couldn't get it out of my head. And I would tell Abby, like, Abby, I can't stop thinking about this school. And so I just, on a blue, 2 weeks after I had talked to John, I emailed him back and I just said that. I said, John, I don't know what this means, but something in me feels like this door isn't closed. And I just wanted to tell you that. And that was it. And I emailed him that. And he emailed me back an hour later and said, Sean, let me see what I can do. I'll get back to you. And it took a couple days, but he got back in touch and said, hey, we made it happen. He said,
So
I don't know how, but we made it happen. And so I came in and met some people and started July 1st.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man. Well, this isn't in the script. I'm glad you didn't go to Liberty. I'm glad you're here. So just want to say that.
I didn't even apply.
You're where you're supposed to be, my friend. Well, we talked a lot about this year with our coaches and other coaches that I've interviewed about the influence on young men and women that coaches and teachers have. And I don't think that can be overstated enough. It's so significant. What's your calling been for speaking into the lives and influencing the lives of young people?
Yeah. So as I look back also on my life, my relationship with my dad was a little bit strained. He wasn't always there when I needed him. He struggled with some things, obesity and some depression and this and that. And so there were some built up kind of just frustrations there as a kid. But as I look back, I specifically remember God placing a man in my life that spoke truth into me at different points. My middle school youth pastor, I remember him very clearly, Mike Laughlin, and we still have a great relationship. And then one of my buddy's great friends, he just demonstrated what it meant to be a godly husband and a father. And still that he was officiated my wedding, my best friend. So his dad, very close in my life. Then my high school youth pastor, Chris Pollock, just time and time again, God put these guys in my life that kind of filled this void that I just wasn't quite getting. And then obviously through some very impactful coaches in my life. Sports has always been a big part of my life. And for whatever reason, I wasn't planning on going into coaching full time. It really just kind of came to me. My plan was to go into athletic training, sports medicine, and through the path of Christian education, I've been able to bring those together and coach while getting into the door with sports medicine.
Yeah.
And so I've just had this passion for developing and mentoring young men the way God poured guys into my life as well. So
that's awesome. Well, I know your faith is significant to you. Can you tell us a little about your faith journey and how you came to Christ?
Yeah. I say that my relationship there with my dad was a little bit strained. However, my parents were strong believers, and he did lead me in that way and encourage me. And, we're at church every Sunday. And so I grew up in a very faith-based home. However, there was a little dynamic, my mom was more the leader, more of the spiritual leader. And so I got fed from my mom a lot. I mean, very, very she's a saint. She's a prayer warrior. And I wouldn't be the man I am today without her. So we grew up and God just kind of wooed me and called me from a young age. That's kind of my story is although I would my path would start to sway a little bit. Like I said, there was a godly man speaking into my life that would bring me back on the path, and God just never let me get too far. And so I gave my life over to Christ at a young age and just kind of continued growing, just kind of 1 degree at a time over the years. And eventually, it was probably about my junior year of college when I just really took it on as my own, and just kind of all in, sold out. And this is just, kind of where I am now.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and like I'm probably like me, man. It's a daily thing, right? Still continue to grow and
100%.
strive.
Yeah.
Well, I just ask you about the influence you have on young people, and let me ask you this question as a follow up to that: what's the biggest challenge facing young people today, and how is Faith equipped to help face some of those challenges?
Yeah. I would say that although things have changed a lot, kids are, I think they're at the core of who they are, they're the same. They want to know that you care about them and that you love them as a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want to know that, and they can sense that, like when that's not genuine. Our kids are smart; they're very smart, and so, when they know that you are for them and you want the best for them, and you truly care about them as a person, then that just when you can build that bond, then the coaching stuff is easy because they'll work their butts off for you when they know that you care about them more as a person than as a soccer player,
right,
or as a football, whatever the athlete is. And so that's kind of just been my focus, is really just relationship building. I said it to multiple people. I'm not a very great soccer coach. I will say that. I'm surrounded by other great soccer coaches, and so our programs are strong. But I love just being around the guys and trying to pour into them, and getting to do that through soccer is it's a blessing, just because I love the sport.
Well, there would be a lot of people that would disagree with your self-assessment about being a good soccer coach, but I get it. The focus for you is on the kids and connecting with their hearts, so that's what it's all about. So, for a prospective family that might see this, and what should they look for in a private school, and what in your mind makes Grapevine Faith Christian School so unique and so different?
Yeah, ever since day one when I stepped on this campus and just got worked over, this faith family, the aura that I spoke of around Grapevine Faith. I think it's genuine. I think that you truly can feel the Spirit of the Lord working in this school.
I agree.
All the way from its origin to where we've become. I think you can look back and see God's hand all over it, right? I don't think that it's just individual led. I don't think that any one person has just thrown this together. I think you look back and you can just see this wouldn't have worked out without God's blessing.
No doubt.
And I think that through the core of everything that Grapevine Faith is, that's the first and most important thing, is that we are Christ-like followers, and we truly, that's number one to us, where it's not always the case at some other places.
I agree. Well, Grapevine Faith is unique and it's special, not because of facilities or won-loss records on or off the field. It's because of the people like Sean Mingledorf. If you or your family have an interest and want to find more information, visit grapevinefaith.com for that information or to schedule a visit. Also, make sure you click on the athletic link, and you can find the schedules for the boys and girls soccer programs this winter, and invite you to come out and support the soccer program. So, Sean, it's a pleasure. I consider you a friend, and it's an honor to get to visit with you and tell your story. We're just so thankful for the influence that you've had here and the influence you're going to continue to have in the lives of young men and women here at Faith. And we just wish you the best this year and going forward. And congratulations, you and Abby, on the birth of the newborn and the kiddos.
Thank you.
Really appreciate the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Well, that's Assistant Athletic Director and Varsity Boys Soccer Coach Sean Mingledorf. Second half of your Grapevine Faith Lions and the All Saints coming up next here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. Folks, we're back here at halftime of the first round playoff game between Grapevine Faith and Fort Worth All Saints. All Saints leading 35-0 here at the half. Apologies that we did not were able to get you the Lionettes and the Faith cheerleading squad performances. The clock was initially set to 17 minutes an 18-minute half, and our visit with Coach Mingledorf was 16 minutes, so I need to start that immediately. And then they proceeded to change the clock to 27-minute halftime. And, so they're having some technical difficulties here, and we've been there before for sure. We know about that. So they're trying to get the music situation set up and under control. So we'll be back here momentarily with a few thoughts and some updated scores around taps in the area. Still 10 minutes left here on the clock here at halftime. Again, your Lions trailing 35-0 to Fort Worth All Saints here in the first round playoff game. We'll be back momentarily. You're watching Grapevine Faith football on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. We're back here at
McNair Field.
McNair Field, thank you.
McNair Stadium.
On the campus of Fort Worth All Saints, and Lions trailing 35-0. And yeah, Jack, we talked several times throughout the first half. Obviously, some frustration with the officiating, but outside of that, the things that you can control. At the end of the day, this is a big, fast, very good football team in All Saints, and we talk about making adjustments. I mean, you got
what? Go ahead.
I feel like I'm on a different broadcast. You just start laughing out of the middle of nowhere. What are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at you and the adjustments. I mean, we got to start playing. Half the team would be good to play against. I mean, the adjustments. I'm kidding with you. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
I was just going to say you got defensive linemen in Timon Meeks, who's 5'11", 270.
It's hard to make
and
those
Dolph
adjustments.
Rogers, 5'11", 297.
Yeah,
two of the three defensive linemen for the Saints.
That's why I'm laughing. I mean, you can't make that adjustment. You can't make that adjustment at halftime. I don't know who's going to be able to go in there and eat that much and be that heavy in the second half. But yeah, no, I mean, we're up against a good team here, and I think you and I were talking about it at halftime. Is like, I don't think you can come back from 35-0. I could be wrong, but what you need to do here for a team. Again, you're going to see All Saints again in the regular season in district play next year. I think what you got to do right now is go out and win the half. All right, just go out and put some points on the board, and just kind of be a little bit more excited about the second half, and then going into next season if you can't beat them at 35-0. And we talked about it too off air. I think you and I did, but. That deep ball, you're talking about the defensive lineman. You can't get that. You're not able to get that time for Clayton to throw that deep ball. So I like to see some short routes. We've had success in other games where we ran that slant, that quick slant. Triggerstad and Smith both have made catches in tough spots. And then Charlie Bunch made a great catch too, also in that first half. I don't want to leave him out, but yeah, I mean, we got some receivers. Let's start moving the ball around and start making some short passes. And, and then maybe the rest will be on our side for the second half.
Well, speaking of, Clayton's over here, right? Clayton's over here on the near sideline, who is he's throwing some little short kind of quick outs to Ben Wagner here. So maybe we'll see some of those quick releases because, like you said, the All Saints are practically by the time the snap gets back to Clayton and he catches it, they're in the backfield. I mean, they're just so big.
Yeah, I like to go down the sidelines at halftime and talk amongst the fathers of the other players. But one thing that was suggested maybe is rolling Clayton out because he's got great legs. We know he's got the speed to do it, and maybe if you get a little open lane, he can start running the ball himself. And I don't think that inside game has worked. I mean, where we found success is we did find one pass play or run play down the middle with Clayton. But even then, it was outside the tackle, I think. It was inside the hash, but outside the tackle. But, I don't know. I don't know what the second half is going to bring. But if I was Coach Holland and, running into next season, I'd like to see some people that in game action that I'm not going to be able to see until next spring.
Well, you've got some people forcing action already tonight from the injuries that we mentioned earlier. Michael Offord, Hayden Jobe, Van Shoemaker, Walker Little. I mean, they're beat up and banged up for sure. But like you said, you want to come back and you want to win this half. So we'll start that here shortly. You are watching Grapevine Faith football here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. And the Lions now coming back on the field here. Yeah, you heard had a great interview. And thanks, Jack, thanks to the great April Wharton for the suggestion on the Stories of Faith with Coach Sean Mingledorf. We were talking at the end of last week's broadcast. I said, I don't have a Stories of Faith person for next week for the first round playoff game. And the sainted April Wharton said, hey, you should do Sean Mingledorf, and we did. And just a great guy, man. It was really cool to hear the story of how he ended up at Faith. He brought he was the girls soccer coach at Dallas Covenant, and they came over and summarily got their hinds end kicked like 10-0. He said, but he goes, I was just laughing. He goes, because I watched this brand of soccer. Coach talking about Coach Cat, who's the varsity girls soccer coach at Faith with 5 state championships. Just talking about, he's like, it was just like a different level of soccer. But he said there was a feeling when I got on this campus. He said it was just a sense of it was different. It felt like family, and he couldn't get away from it. And so
he's a good man. His wife is awesome. I mean, they've got, and those kids are just. It's also nice to see a young family like that. They've got young kids, and they're both great individuals. And Coach Mingledorf has been nothing but gracious to our family. Since he's been here. Graham, my older son, played for him, and then Knox is now playing for him as well. But great man. Great man. And he's good to listen to. Like, I mean, even as preseason coaches speak, it's totally different than other, and I don't mean at Faith, I meant at other coaches speaks that I've heard before.
Yeah.
You know, the beginning of the season, and talk about parents, and parents are very involved. And it was a great, by the way, it was a great win last night for Coach Mingledorf, 3-1 over McKinney Christian. And I talk about Fort Worth Christian and Liberty Christian. Wait a minute, we're not supposed to name names of teams that were bad sportsmen, but my goodness, that Midland Christian was a little bit difficult to deal with yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
All right, well.
Are they listening right now, do you think?
Nobody's listening. We've established that. All right.
2 listeners on Mixler.
We do. All right, yeah. Enjoy Mixler while you can, folks. I'm just kidding. Josh Holroyd to kick off here for the Lions. Lions trailing 35-0. There's a onside kick to start the second half. Why not? And the Lions... Jack, the Lions are successful on an onside kick. I'm going to lay out here for a while. I'm just going to let you.
Well, that was great. Great use of the onside kick, and why expect it? So that's great for us, and we'll take it.
Yeah,
Woo!
Yeah. That will turn the game around. Hey, you know what? I like it. Change it up a little bit. Why not?
You're down 35-0.
Yeah.
So why not?
Well, they are moving things around now. So they've got 4 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side. Clayton Sebecki by himself in the backfield. So this is a very different look. We've not seen this ever before. There's a receiver screen to Ben Wagner, which picks up some blocks out there. All Saints fights through those blocks and gets in. Ben gets out about 2 or 3 yards.
And by the way, when I was talking about going forward earlier on some of our receivers, I'm talking about getting physical, going downfield. You can't. It's no dancing around. You got to. It really is. There's nothing else to do but go forward on those pass plays. They're going to be on you, and it's a little bit different than other games where you might have a little bit of room to dance around.
Yeah, you're talking about just putting your head down and go north-south.
Yeah, but there's a good. I mean, you got an extra yard out of that one out of Ben, and I'm not saying that it was a nice catch, a nice pass, but really got another yard because he dove hard into the defenders.
2nd down and 8. Ball at the 48-yard line. You're good. There's a handoff to Matthew Rotella Kirschbaum. Hit immediately. Falls forward for about a gain of 1 maybe. Takes it to the Saints 47-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8. So we'll call it 3rd and 7. So a couple different looks here in this first series of the second half. We had 4 receivers on the far side. This is kind of their traditional setup here. Matthew Rotella Kirschbaum in the backfield with Clayton Sebecki. Snap back to Sebecki. He's looking to pass. Pass down the far side. Ben Wagner. And the pass is caught inside the 15-yard line. Great pass there by Ben Wagner. Great catch by Ben Wagner on the pass from Clayton Sebecki. No flags on the play, so that's going to move the move the ball down.
Expected a flag.
You know what? You never know tonight. You never know with this crew.
That was a good passing catch right there.
Yeah, it really was.
No
beautiful
safety help. Ben got behind him, and it was a nice throw. But again, I think our success on these passing plays is going to be the short kind of pass play where Clayton's going to have enough time to make that throw.
1st and 10 for the 16. Play action pass.
Oh, gosh.
Sebecki passed out of the almost intercepted. Intended from Ben Wagner.
Triggerstead was open. He couldn't get the ball to him, and then he was looking for Ben as the secondary receiver.
Yeah, Clayton chased out of the pocket, was running for dear life there. It's a big defensive front we talked about from the Saints.
That was an interesting developing play there. And like I said, Triggerstead was open, too. Just couldn't get him the ball.
Big Jack Boren down there on the playboard, signaling the plays in next to Coach Ware. Love me some Jack Boren, that whole Boren family, Jeff and Jolene, and just an amazing family here at Faith, one of the many. There's a handoff to Matthew Rotella Kirschbaum, driving up the middle. The offensive line gets in behind him and drives him forward a little bit. The ball does come loose, but they mark his forward progress down at about it's still at the 16-yard line, so no gain on the play.
Steve, would you say the size of the defensive linemen were for All Saints?
They've got two guys. One is 5'11", 297. The other is 5'11", 270. And their nose guard is 6'4", 250. Blake Robinette, number 55. 55. Excuse me, number 52. So big third down play here for the Lions. 3rd down and 10. Ball at the 16-yard line. 3 receivers on the far side. Ball thrown up. Intended for Ben Wagner. Falls incomplete. Ball was thrown. I don't think it was catchable. Ben got clocked, but the ball was well through the end zone. Offense stays on the field. That's got to make you happy, Jack. We're keeping the offense on the field at 4th down and 10. We're not going to kick a field goal.
I don't know why you keep doing this to me, Steve. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Poking the bear, folks. We're poking the bear. All right, big play here for the Lions. The Saints bring up. There's a pass is intercepted at the goal line.
That wasn't a very smart.
He's trying to bring it out of the end zone. He's gonna get out. He's still shaking some tackles.
Maybe it was a smart play.
The All Saints blitzed on the play and brought a ton of pressure on Clayton, who tried to throw it up for Ben, and ball's intercepted. But yeah, you're right. It would have been better off just to knock it down. Well, the Saints will take over at their own 6-yard line. Well, the Lions defense being asked to step up here, down 35-0, 9 minutes, 23 seconds left in the third quarter. Just underway here in the second half. There's a handoff to number 25. Big hole around the left side. Still on his feet. Out over the 25. Out over the 30. Cuts back towards the middle. Still on his feet. Out to the 40-yard line.
Man, he ran 30 yards before anybody touched it. Are they looking at a flag over there?
Yeah, there's a penalty flag, it looks like. Yeah, penalty flag down.
Well, that's why he didn't get touched for 20 yards, because somebody was holding somebody down there.
Hey, we're going to give them credit. If they're going to call it when there's a penalty, we got to give them credit for it, right?
Why are you ringing that cowbell, Steve?
That's the great Ellen Ford trying to get the defense fired up there.
Let's get these these fans need to get people fired up down there. It's not just this team. These fans hadn't said much. Hang on a second. Let me say something to these people.
Holding against the
Tim, let's get these people fired up a little bit.
Holding against the Saints, so that'll back them up 10 yards.
Yeah.
Jack is running a little. He's just running a little rogue tonight, folks. I'm having to scramble to turn his mic off and make sure we don't get sued by the FCC and taken off the air.
FCC, they're not even listening.
All right, so we're going to replay first down. Ball back at the 9-yard line. Snap back to number 12. Pass to the far side, complete. Out over the 20. Upended there by Christian Corley, I believe. No, Ben Wagner, excuse me. They've got Colby Smith, the junior quarterback, in now, Jack, giving Keldon Ryan a rest.
Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of the same things we want to see. What's coming up next. And Colby Ryan looks pretty good with that gun on his arm.
There's a handoff. Colby Smith, that is, right, number 12. Handoff nets a gain of about 3 yards or so. So 2nd down and 7. Now back to Smith, looking to pass here on the far side. Goes up and gets it, number 85. Finally taken down.
Yeah, he outsizes Charlie Donovan by about 6 inches, so he's a big kid. I mentioned it in the first half. He's tall, slender, and fast.
That's Camonte Williams, the junior wide receiver. There's a quick play by the Saints, quick to the line of scrimmage. Handoff to number 25, stiff arms Tristan, who sticks with the play and finally takes him down inside the 45-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and 5. Call it 2nd down and 4.
6. 2nd down and, yeah.
Gain is 6 on the play,
yeah.
Yep.
Gain is 6, sorry, Steve.
Yep, there's a false start, kind of a funky. The right tackle took off before the ball was snapped. It was pulling.
Honestly, they've been doing that in the first half. They're just gaining about a half a step on our defense.
Yeah. So that's going to back them up 5 yards and take away part of that gain there on that last handoff to Reed Watkins. So 2nd down and 9 after that holding call. 3 receivers here on the near side, 1 on the far side. Lions are going to get flagged for 12 men on the field.
Yeah, illegal substitution.
There's Smith. Ball falls incomplete. Chase out of the pocket. Yeah, just trying to. Yeah, again, they were the Saints quick to the line of scrimmage. Lions trying to get trying to make some adjustments on personnel, and just got caught.
Looks like Bobby's kind of questioning. I'm not so sure that there are 12 men on the field. I think Jake was trying to come off and substitute in.
Well, if the Saints made an offensive substitution, then
maybe that's what he's.
They've got to step in. They've got to allow the. They're waving the flag off. Yep. Attaboy, Coach Holland.
Yeah, get in.
Keep them honest, man. Attaboy. Yep. So I think
he probably had to talk a lot slower since they're from San Antonio. So
the argument there was that the Saints had made some offensive substitutions, and therefore the Lions needed to be able to match that. So 3rd down and 9 here. Ball at the Lions' 47-yard line. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Lions trailing 35-0. Smith looking to pass. Pass here on the far side. Got a man in double coverage. Almost intercepted by Charlie Donovan. Williams came back and made a good defensive play on that to
good safety help
to knock the ball away. Yep.
Who's that, number 13?
Trying to reduce the periphery.
Number 12 there.
Jack, we got any updates around TAPS? Some updated scores?
What scores would you like to hear?
Well, let's just give us some of the.
Okay, Liberty Christian 49, Bishop Dunn nothing.
Just
fourth
Liberty.
Quarter. What?
Just Liberty.
Oh, Liberty. Did I? Oh, I'll catch you.
Just kidding, sort of. Having fun here, folks.
Legacy Christian 28, Southwest Christian nothing. That's at halftime.
Saints are going to punt here on 4th and 9. Ben Wagner standing at his own 9-yard line. Bad snap hits the ground. The Lions, they partially blocked it. I was going to be, how in the world did they get that ball? I don't know how he got that ball away. There were 3 guys in the backfield: Corbin Irwin, Ben Wagner, Clayton Sebek, Colin Abercrombie.
Grace Prep 16, Brook Hill 6. Grace Prep will be in our district for football next year.
Yep.
Dallas Christian 49, Lake Country Christian nothing. I don't know how they matched up against each other.
The Woodlands Christian.
Where are we at on that one?
Right there.
Okay, there it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Regents 45, Woodlands Christian 7. That's a slightly of a shocker.
It's in the 4th there, man. I didn't quite see that one coming.
I got a woodshed on that one, Steve.
1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 16-yard line. Hand off to Matthew Rotella. Kirschbaum takes it around the right side. And good for maybe a yard. Boy, it's some tough sledding up there, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look, number 72.
Yep.
That kid is 5'11", 297.
He's a biscuit short of 300.
He is a biscuit short of 300. Holy Toledo.
Yeah.
I mean, just they're big. They're just big and fast. Sebeki on the keeper, quarterback keeper. And he stumbles forward for a gain of a couple.
It's just so hard to make that run in the middle. I like to see Clayton pop out to the side.
Well, we've tried that as well. We've tried a couple of jet sweeps. We've tried a couple of pitches, and they've snuffed that out too. Yeah. It's like I said, man.
They're everywhere.
They are.
They have 12 people on the field.
It's like they're trying to tackle us or something to stop us. So big 3rd down and 7 play here for the Lions, deep in their own territory, trying to move the ball. Sebeki looking to pass. Caught by Noah Smith. Out over the 30-yard line. He's going to be short of the 1st down by a couple of yards.
And that's something we'll probably try to work on in the spring, is making sure you know where that yard marker is. You really got to get there before you look for the pass, Steve.
Grace Community beats Midland Christian for the first time ever to move on to the 2nd round of the TAPS Division II playoffs. Did we call that score earlier? Tammy
No, I don't
Tammy
even see
Peden
it
on
on
that.
there.
Tammy Peden, she's so Johnny on the spot, man. She's so good.
Yeah, it's not even on this.
We would not be on the air if it wasn't for the awesome and wonderful Tammy Peden. So thank you, Tammy. Pass is incomplete. There's a penalty flag down.
Got to be a hold.
Yep, calling a hold against the Saints.
No, I don't even have that score on here, Steve. It's not even tracking it on here.
Tammy must have the inside track. She's got kind of like that CIA type, computer and internet access where she's seeing games that everybody else can't see. Yeah, Jack, we got 5 minutes, 12 seconds left here in the third quarter. We're going to have a chance to visit with Athletic Director Patrick Rentz coming up here in the fourth quarter. Clayton back to pass. Caught! Nathan Triggerstead at the 10, the 5, touchdown Lions.
Wow, what a catch there. Nathan fought through that tip ball by that defender as well. Nice catch.
He and Noah have a very similar build,
Yeah.
and they're both wearing those dark shoes. But Nathan Triggerstead, who is really, man, this second half of the season, Jack, is really coming to his own and has become an effective weapon for Clayton.
And he just kept on running, too. That was just such a great passing catch right there.
Here's Josh Holroyd on to attempt the extra point out of snap of Jensen Anthony in the hold of Christian Corley. A little something for the Lions to cheer about. Snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is good as well. So the Lions on the board. Saints lead 35-7 here. 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Oh, my goodness, Steve. We got ourselves a ball game here. I told you they hung 35 on us in the first half. We're up 7-0 in the second, just so you know.
In case you're watching, in case you're late, we're winning 7-0 in the second half. Well, I was going to say earlier, Jack, that, you're 5 minutes left in the third quarter of what, if things stay the way they are, this will be your last ball game for seniors. And that's hard because it's starting to set in for the players and for parents, and same thing with cheerleaders or drill team or whoever it may be. If you're the parent of a senior, this is your last football game, and it's kind of starting to set in, and that's not an easy reality to have to deal with.
No, it's these kids have worked so hard for, especially the seniors, like you said, the 4 years that they've been here, or 4 years of playing football at the high school level. It takes a lot to do that, family and the player themselves. Some of these players are going to go on to another sport, basketball or football, or basketball or soccer after this, and then even in the spring when we get to track. But this is probably what they've geared themselves up for all these years.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Josh Holroyd to kick. We'll see if the All Saints is definitely anticipating the onside kick. They've got 10 men up between the 40 and 50-yard line.
He's kicking it deep. The coach has already told him to kick it deep.
Yeah. Try to pin him back. Let's see what he does here.
Nope,
it's
faking it.
An onside kick there again.
Oh, goodness gracious. Don't
and
run it back.
Number 4 finally taken down.
Ball out.
About the
Ball out. Nope.
47-yard line of the Lions.
Coach Stricker down there that was kind of faking the kick it away, but really kicking an onside kick kind of play.
Well, we talked about just the challenges. We've got I'm not sure what we're doing. All right, we've got I think we're just showing the scoreboard.
No, we got this one. How did you do that? Oh,
yeah, we're just doing the scoreboard. That's not. All
right, let's get a defensive stop here.
Yeah, 1st and 10 for the Saints. Handoff here to the near side, number 15. Big running back, cuts back to the middle, still on his feet.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Finally dragged down by Jake Ford. Nope, grabbed his jersey.
Okay.
So taken down inside the 15-yard line.
Oh, there it is. There's Grace Community right there. Grace Community 33, Midland Christian 28. What a big game for
Big
Grace
run there
Community.
by Elijah Johnson. Another handoff to him, big running back.
Fake.
Corbin Irwin on the tackle.
Not a false start, Steve.
I didn't see it. Taken down inside the
They weren't even set.
down at the 5-yard line. Max Martin coming off the field, nursing right or left hand. I can't really tell which. That is not a good sign.
Nice stop there. Who
Yep,
was that?
big hit there on the interior line.
Well, All Saints just said, hey.
Christian Corley, Christian Corley and Slade Corley in there along with Corbin Irwin.
Yeah. All Saints just said, hey, you're not going to beat us in the second half. We're going to score here, too.
Yep.
Oh, they put the starter back in there at quarterback, too.
Yeah, they're tired of that. There's a handoff number 25 who gets into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, you know, the other thing is, Steve, when you watch this game, you're going to watch the film on this game. You're going to see, what are we going to do to stop this next year? I mean, defensively and offensively.
Yeah. You know, Max Martin down on the sideline. Coach Ware looking after him. He's injured. We're going to have to see if he's going to be able to come back in. That line for the Lions, man, has been really beat up, beleaguered coming into this game and even in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you're going up. It's a physical game on that line no matter what. And when you're going at guys that outweigh you by 50 to 75 to 100 pounds, it's just a hard game to win.
Yep. Well, that score there by the Saints takes the score 42-7. Saints over your Lions.
You got a lot of kids coming back on the defense, that's for sure. I think it's young. Offense, you're just going to see a lot of kids, different kids in different positions, I think, next year, Steve. And plus, you're losing a lot in Ben Wagner and Clayton Sobecki.
Yeah.
Nathan Triggersted's only a junior, correct?
Triggerstead, no, Triggerstead, God, I can't remember.
We didn't bring our rosters with us tonight.
I don't remember. Tammy Peden can tell us.
Yeah, but
she says, by the way, she put hashtag biscuit short on your biscuit short of 300 pounds.
I think
and
that's
she said that is a T-shirt. And I agree. That's a T-shirt.
I'm a biscuit short of a couple of pounds over the weight too, Tammy. That's what April will tell people. A biscuit sounds really good right now too.
Boy, doesn't it? It's just football weather for sure here in Friday night in Texas. Noah Smith, fair catch at the 25-yard line. That's where the Lions will take over 1st and 10. I guess the Saints didn't want to – I don't blame them. They didn't want to chance it kicking off to Clayton or Ben. And they've kicked it away from Ben all night. He's not even touched the ball on the kickoffs.
Yeah, well, they probably read the scouting report on that as well.
Good sign, Max Martin coming back in the game.
Got a little hitch in his giddy up.
Yeah, he's got – he was favoring, I think, it looks like his right hand. Looks like they put a glove or maybe tape or something over his right hand. He was favoring that coming off. He's in there at left tackle. 1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 25. Pass here to the near side to Noah Smith. Brings it in, tries to cut back up front. Yeah, and then he finally makes it north-south, cuts it back upfield. Nice play there by Noah.
It almost looked like Charlie Bunch was open too, and if he had turned and looked and Clayton had saw him, but that play was not called for that Charlie Bunch. It was called for that little.
Gain of 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8 for the Lions from their own 27-yard line, trailing 42-7. 3 minutes, 13 seconds left here in the third quarter with the clock running. Thought they jumped early.
They did, and the guy didn't call it.
Ben Wagner, passing in from Ben Wagner, falls incomplete.
I think Bobby's giving him a little bit of attention down there as well. I think that was a bad missed call by the official. He just wants to go home is the problem.
The official's trying to – they got a long drive back to San Antonio. They want to get on the road.
It's like me trying to get back from Woodlands Christian that night.
Well, that was a late night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Clock stopped, 3 minutes, 1 second left here in the third quarter. 3rd down and 8 for the Lions from their own 27-yard line. Matthew Rotella-Kirschbaum in the backfield next to Clayton Sobecki with 2 receivers on each side.
Bobby gets behind that line, Judge.
Keeper by Sobecki, cuts it back up the middle.
There you go.
Big run there for Clayton.
All right, we're
out
back
over the
in
35-yard line.
We're back in it.
1st down run by Clayton Sobecki. Well, a much-needed 1st down there for the Lions. Keep this drive going, keep the defense off the field, and keep the momentum going.
You know, We talked about it earlier, how many more players they have on their sidelines. That's what we need to probably focus on in the spring, too. Like I said, get every able-bodied male out on the squad for the high school next year.
Pass caught by Noah Smith. Great catch again.
He has made some tough catches in tough spots tonight.
Well, he really has. And several of those, Jack, are going across that middle.
Yeah,
a little in route, which is scary for anybody. But, man, he's hung tough. So another first down for the Lions as they move the chain inside of right at 2 minutes here left in the third quarter.
I got a text. Nathan is a senior as well.
Pass intended for out there for Ben Wagner. Falls incomplete. Double coverage there. They've been doubling Ben most of the night. That's why you've seen Noah Smith and Nathan Trigestad open.
Dr. Brandon Marsh from the Marsh Eye Care Center is watching tonight, or listening, watching, whatever he's doing tonight. Thank you, Dr. Marsh.
Yeah, Beverly Caker also said that Nate is a senior. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beverly Caker, Clayton's grandmother. Sweet lady.
Neither one of us brought – Steve is accusing me of losing his folder from the JV game of last week, so I don't know what happened, but sorry, Steve.
I'm just glad we got a video camera and a soundboard back.
Yeah.
Sebecki looking to pass. It picked off. Number 17, Clayton makes the tackle inside the 35-yard line. Looks like he and Noah may not have been on the same page on that. Clayton is super, super frustrated.
Yeah, you hate to see that for Clayton.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was, I don't know if it was a missed route or just miscommunication there. Max Martin is still favoring whatever he's got going on, man. It's a banged-up Lions team tonight.
Yeah, you said the reality probably sets in and frustration starts to build up a little bit. It's last game possibly for Clayton. We still have time on the clock, Steve.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean, if you're a betting man, 42-7 Saints here. Minute 54 left in the third quarter. Hand off to Johnson again around the left side, still on his feet.
Yeah,
drives forward for about 10 yards to the 23-yard line. It should be enough for a first down.
Yeah, the defense is going to have to be aware that they're probably just going to start running the ball a little bit and probably need to start making some tackles at the line.
Interesting that Keldon Ryan is still in the game for the Saints.
Well, he came back in after that first drive.
Yeah, I mean, but even after the Lions scored, they brought him in, but then they scored to go back up by 35. But
maybe he had to go get a cup of coffee.
Yep. High snap over the head of Keldon Ryan. The ball is down. Woo! The Lions recover. Colin Abercrombie recovers for the Lions. 1st and 10. Grapevine Faith. Jake Ford, excuse me.
Way to go, Jake Ford.
No, number 12 is Colin Abercrombie.
Oh, I think you said Jake Ford.
Well, no, it is Colin Abercrombie. Yeah,
okay.
Jake is number 10. They miscalled it.
Okay. Way to go.
Colin coming up a little shaky there on the sideline. He sits down on the bench and got his bell rung a little bit there. Guy came in kind of late and kind of landed on him. Pass out to the side of Nathan Trigestad. Boy, that Saints defense just swarms, don't they?
Golly.
But a nice second effort there by Trigestad to get out to the 40-yard line.
Picks up almost 9 on that.
Yeah. Call a gain of 8.
Good second effort there by Nathan.
Call a gain of 7. So second down and 3. Ball right at the 40-yard line.
I think that was a bad spot as well, but I'm not going to say anything else, Steve.
Are we done with these officials?
No, not. Well,
I am. I'm done with them. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
We're inside of a minute here in the third quarter. Second down and 3. Pass here to the near side, complete to Ben Wagner, out over the 45-yard line.
28 gets up there after giving up the first down and seems to peacock it around there, but there's really no need to do that, is there?
Pride comes before the fall, what can I say? Yep, good catch there by Ben Wagner for the first down. Dude, Jack, I'm watching our offensive line, man, and they're this defensive line is so big and so dadgum strong.
These short passes are the ones that are going to be successful.
Yep, you got to get the ball out of Clayton's hands quickly, no doubt.
And they're bringing 4.
Big rush there.
Oh, face mask.
Yep.
Face mask.
Hit in the face. That's going to be the end of the third quarter. Clayton got hit right in the face.
And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter.
Clayton is a little disappointed maybe that didn't get the blocking support that he needed out of the backfield on that one.
Yeah, that's frustrating for sure. Well, we're heading to the fourth quarter here. Your Lions trailing 42-7. You're watching Grapevine Faith football on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. Back here at McNair Field, the campus of Fort Worth All Saints. The Lions trailing 42-7. And Jack, I'll tell you, you give credit to All Saints. They came out in that first half with the energy. Now, I would say that the Lions now have come back in the second half and have held their own much better, I think. But man, sometimes the other team is just better than you, and All Saints is they're the better football team tonight.
Yeah, and I think we talked about at the beginning of the game too is that, hey, a team like this you're going to have to play to perfection. You cannot make any mistakes, and if you do, you better make sure you can cover them up. And you know that we didn't make any major mistakes. It's just that they executed perfectly.
Yep. Keeper by Clayton, right up the middle, big gain, 15, 20 yards out to midfield. Ball is down the ground, but Clayton was already down by contact. So the Lions that will move the chains. Big third down run there by Clayton Sebeki. Oh, sorry, not for a first down. That was, I guess they forget for the
the face mask that wasn't called.
Yeah, the loss on the play.
Sack.
Yeah, so now it's third down. Third down and 6, right at midfield. Figured 4 down territory here from here on out, Jack.
I agree, Steve.
Down 42-7.
Win the half, Steve. That's what I was talking about. Let's win the half. You know, they got to snap that ball here, Steve. We're running out of time here. Timeout.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they're going to not get the playoff, so they're going to have to reset. First time out for the Lions here in the second half, so they've got 2 left.
Steve, I'm going to vow to you that I'll do some work in the spring and the summer also to get ready for next season's broadcast. That's my promise to you. You're welcome.
We definitely appreciate that. So we're be third down and 6 for the Lions from their right at midfield, excuse me. Try to keep this drive going and keep some momentum going, Jack, and
win the half.
Just
Steve.
Trying to take some positives away.
Yes, let's do it. I like to see Clayton come out when he's in there and at least give him the send-off that he deserves.
Yeah, Clayton, man, he's
given it all to him.
He really has, yep. He's headed off to the Air Force. Could not be more proud of him. He's going to do amazing things. Keeper by Clayton, speaking of. And he's
it's just that one guy that we can't block somehow, and you know, he gets that hand on Clayton on that inside run.
Loss of 1 on the play, so ball's back at the 39, she got the 49-yard line, excuse me. 4th down and 7. Yeah, it's just been tough sledding all night, man. It's whatever they've tried up the middle. You talk about run up the middle, try to run around the outside. They're just big and fast all the way around. A lot of pressure coming here. Yep, they blitz. Clayton gets out of it. Cuts back. Out over the 45, the 40 to 35 to the 30. Cuts back to the middle. Still on his feet. He's going to take that to the end zone. Woo! Touchdown.
What a run.
No flags on the play. Touchdown, Grapevine Faith.
Well, there is one jockstrap on the field. I believe it was. Boy, I don't know how Clayton got by number 44, but he got by him. He had him dead to rights, and Clayton got right by him. Boy, this woke up the crowd, Steve.
Boy,
we're
did.
winning the half, 14-7 now. Let's go, Faith.
Max Martin's helmet mysteriously just came off on its own.
Well, it's like
so he had to
Christian.
come off the right.
I'm sorry, Liberty play.
Yeah, with Grady Norman.
Yeah.
There's Matt Sebecki with the.
We got long memories, don't we, Steve?
Matt's giving me the nod down there, man. He loves seeing that. Boy, Clayton battling this thing till the end. Kick is up and good. Woo! Well, 42-14.
Okay.
10 minutes, 39 seconds left here in the game.
We can get this here. Onside kick, touchdown. Onside kick, touchdown. Onside kick, touchdown. Well, we got it. I think I feel good about this half. This fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing some good things here. Some little kind of flashes, some.
Coach Music might be interested in this score. It's Bishop Lynch 10, Central Catholic 7. That's in the third quarter.
Why Coach Music?
Because he went to Bishop Lynch.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
So you got to know these coaches, Steve, like I do.
I'm like,
we had a
seems
discussion
so
about
random.
We had a discussion about a good burger across the street from there. It's called the Darriette.
Oh, the Darriette. Okay,
yes, it's very good.
Across from Bishop Lynch.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's very good.
Well, so again, some positive signs here from the Lions here in the second half. Big touchdown run there by Clayton Sebecki. So, again, looking for just the small things, just kind of small positive things, the momentum that you can see, and that's always a good sign here.
A couple more scores here. Legacy Christian 31, Southwest Christian 0.
Is that Liberty gone final?
Liberty versus Bishop Dunn. Liberty 49, Bishop Dunn nothing. That's final.
Okay. Well, we want to welcome to the booth athletic director Patrick Rentz.
Hello.
Welcome, Coach.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Oh, he's got his little microphone.
Yeah, we got you, man.
Look at you.
Just looking over your shoulder here at some scores.
Yeah, we've been trying to give a few updates. Been some
Grace Prep. It's 22. Brook Hill 13. That's in the fourth quarter. Onside kick. Here we go. Grace Community on that one.
I mentioned that earlier. That's the first time in history that they've beaten them.
Oh, sorry. You did.
Thanks for listening, Jack. You were too busy cackling out loud for no reason. You've been doing that like you got laughing gas.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I don't know what happened there.
Just get back over there, 49.
Yeah.
Stop.
There was I don't know what happened. They snapped the ball. They snapped the ball to get, I think, to get another play. 49 went in completely unabated the quarterback and acted like that he just won the Dick Butkus Award.
Whoa. Okay, Grace Prep 30, Brook Hill 13. That's in the fourth quarter. That's still a bit of an upset there, Steve.
Yep.
Grace Prep's on the road at Brook Hill, number 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
Offense stays on the field here, 4th down and 15 yards. 5 minutes, 32 seconds left. Clayton back to pass. Pass across the middle. Caught by Ben Wagner out over the 40-yard line. Still on his feet, trying to make some more yardage. Finally tripped up. But that's going to be enough for a first down. That's going to move the chain. So big play there by Clayton Sebecki. Under duress, stepped up in the pocket and made the pass.
Lions pick up the first down.
What a great pass and catch there. My goodness. Can get that out. We got to win this quarter. Or win this half, Steve.
Clock running right at 5 minutes left in the game. Lions
Ben Wagner coming out.
49-14.
I'm assuming that's the last we'll see of Ben Wagner tonight.
And we'll see.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for your time here at Grapevine Faith.
We still got the track season coming up. There's a keeper by Sebecki on the play action.
Good news, folks. We'll be doing broadcast for the track season coming up in the spring. Steve has already offered to do that, so no.
No, I will not be doing that. Jack, I'm just looking. Like a late hit on Clayton. Yeah, thank you. There's a late hit on. Yeah, I was going to say, where's the dadgum late hit? Yeah, we don't have a roster here to see. I don't know who's.
Well, I can look at that up. We got some players coming in and out that we're having a hard time trying to track down.
And the roster's changed up a little bit, too, so they may or may not be actually on there. Snap back to Sebecki, pass out here to the near side, caught by Nathan Triggerstead.
Nathan Triggerstead's had a game himself tonight.
Man, no doubt. called his name a lot. Ben has been double covered, triple covered at times, and he's had to go to Nathan and to Noah at times. Charlie Bunch as well, and they've stepped up.
Oh, Will Wagner came in.
Will, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, there we go.
Late addition to the roster.
Inside of 4 minutes left now. Pass out to the far side, complete to Noah Smith. Stays on his feet, gets inside the 5-yard line. Well, nice play by Noah.
I was going to say right off the shoelaces on that catch. I'm not even sure he actually caught that. I don't think they could see that, but good catch by him.
There's Ben Wagner back in the game. Will stays in there as well. Charlie Bunch coming off for a play. What we got? Third down.
Third down and about one,
Third
Steve.
about one. Ball just right at the 5-yard line. Lions can obviously get a first down here without scoring. Keeper by Sebecki brings it around the right side, cuts it back up. It's knocked forward to about the 4-yard line. Yep, they're gonna. Yep, that's gonna move the chain, so that's gonna make it first and goal.
Tackle made by Big Time and Beats.
Yeah, you just talk about a kid who, man, just I don't know how he's kept his body together this year, Jack. Clayton has taken a ton of punishment.
Yeah, and he never lost a game to injury, a quarter, barely even a play probably.
Noah Smith in motion here on this side.
There's a rollout.
Clayton looking to pass the back of the end zone.
Oh!
See what the call is? Incomplete. Ball is incomplete. Almost a circus catch there by Ben Wagner. Tipped it up to himself.
Yeah, I think he caught it, but I think he was on the end line when he caught it. By the time he had gotten control of the ball.
We were waiting to see what the side judge says there. He was waiting to see if Ben had possession and where he landed. So second down and goal for the Lions at the 4-yard line of the Saints. 49-14. Clock stop. 2 minutes, 24 seconds left in the game. Becky on the play action pass, in and out of the hands of Nathan Triggerstad.
After all those catches tonight he's made, that was a pretty good toss by Clayton. That's a nice little play there, though. I like that. Let's put that in the playbook.
Quick, like kind of a quick in play there.
Almost like a jump pass. It looked like coming from Clayton.
So third down and goal. Ball at the 4-yard line. Lions trying to score here. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in the game, trailing 49-14. Clayton looking to pass. Tucks it, runs.
Oh!
Gets tackled about the 5-yard line.
Okay, get off of him, 57. Kind of rolled over a little bit.
Talked to Coach Beck. We were talking in his interview in the pregame coaches show, and just the fact, I said, hey, no doubt you guys have scouted the likes of Clayton and Ben, and he said, man, that those are some amazing athletes, and just gave full credit to Clayton and just talked about what an amazing athlete he is, what an amazing young man he is.
I concur with those comments from Coach Beck.
Inside of 10 seconds here, I have the feeling the Lions are going to take a timeout here. Yep, he does take a timeout. Minute 32 left. The Lions are going to talk this one over here on a 4th down and goal from from the Saints 5-yard line. Well, Jack, I will say, man, it's funny how just two knuckleheads they let us get on the air and broadcast these games. Fortunately, like you said, nobody listens, so that's a good thing. But man, in addition to being a friend, dude, I have a ton of fun with you, and these are just kind of. I mean, this is such an outlet for me at the end of a week. It's just so much fun to get on here and have fun and laugh at ourselves mostly.
Well, I was laughing at you, and you didn't even know I was laughing at you.
Yeah. This is we've not had a game like this year where you just randomly start out cackling at me when I'm making some benign comment.
You weren't putting the 2 and 2 together, but maybe it was 2 plus 2 and I was getting 3. I don't know. Steve, thank you for doing all that. You do all the heavy lifting, really. I just show up and I'm at all these card signing and stuff at these academies. So I can't do any more, Steve. I have a lot of fun too. I'm sorry to some of the people that listen to us. I don't even know why they do, but Or maybe just I don't know why they listen to me. Actually, I don't think I've been to a game that we've gotten this beat. I think you and Mark and maybe Mr. Hutton.
Oh, you mean other than the Liberty game?
I wasn't here at the Liberty game.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
That's right.
So I'm having a hard time just justifying.
Here's Sebecki on the rollout.
It's wide
Past the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Ben Wagner. Well, Jack, if I don't know that you could call it any more poetic justice than that Clayton Sebecki throws his final touchdown pass to Ben Wagner.
Yeah. Well, do we know it's the final one?
Well,
Steve? We're still in this game, by the way. Onside kick and then a touchdown. We're really in it.
Maybe so.
Yeah. I'm hearing Green Day, "The Time of Our Lives" in the back of my headset here with your tearing up about our last broadcast here this season.
I'm like, huh? Are you? I'm not getting that feed. I'm not getting that feed. Good hold there by Christian Corley.
We got to get some hotel sponsors for next year because we got to get those rooms out in Midland and Lubbock possibly. And,
yes.
But again, it really doesn't happen with a lot of people behind the scenes, Steve especially. But you got Tammy Peden, Bethany Powers. But again,
Jessica Branch.
Jessica Branch.
Big, yep.
It all depends on you guys that are listening right now. I know parents, grandparents, or whatever. Anything you guys can do for the All Sports Booster Club, it kind of helps us. It helps the football team, basketball, soccer, men and women, by the way, on both those sports. And anything else we can do. So
yeah, Jack. Before we finish up, again, there's a minute 22 left. We're still going to kick off, but let's roll through the broadcast buddies again, because again, we wouldn't even be on the air with it wasn't those guys for their financial support. They stepped up big before the start of the season. So give them a shout out if you would. Remind everybody who they are.
Kelly Massey over at Grit Productions, Norberto Gonzalez at NG Concrete, Brian and Michelle Dooley personally, Kevin Abercrombie and his family. And David Campese and Campese Restaurants. And, boy, I'd take a Campese salami small right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, if anybody's out and around at Campese, you want to run one over to Fort Worth All Saints in the next minute 22.
No, don't tell people to do that. They'll do it. Yeah, no. It's been a great season. We really do appreciate those sponsors. And, again, it's sad to see some of these players go, especially the ones that, have been around for a long time. You got Nathan Triggerstead and Ben and Will Wagner and Clayton Sebecki and Williams, and this is a big senior class that we're going to lose out on. So
yeah,
a lot of opportunities. And if you're a child and you're male and you're in high school, hey, we're going to need your body next year out on this field.
Come on out, man. Yeah, for sure.
We'll take all comers.
Kick that one off back deep. That's going to. Checks up at the 4-yard line. Johnson picks it up. It's forced to bring it out.
Oh, come on now.
Lions in pursuit. He's out over the 35, out over the 40. Still on his feet. Cuts back to the middle of the field.
Goodness gracious.
It's a foot race now. Johnson trying to outrun Jet Goforth. And they are going to take it in for the touchdown. Blocking the back there at the 3-yard line, but that's inconsequential. We're just going to ignore that one like a couple of the other ones we've ignored tonight. So. Yep.
Woo. That's a tough one, Steve.
Yep. We invite everybody to check out our stories of faith. I've posted those on the Grapevine Faith website. So if you've got friends or family, you may be a potential family that's looking at a Christian school, private Christian school, check out those stories of faith, because that's really, you get to know who the people of faith at Christian school are. And we talk to families, we talk to students, we talk to coaches, to faculty, to teachers. I mean, a lot of folks, and just get a really good sense of who Grapevine Faith is through those stories of faith. So we'll continue those again next year. That kick is up and good. So 56-21.
Well, we tied the half, Steve.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good battle. That's all right. We'll do it. We'll get there. Steve does a great job with those as well. Steve does everything, by the way, folks. I'm not kidding with
I don't.
You.
No, this is a team effort.
I got about halfway through the Abbey one today. I was actually watching that because I was like, I didn't watch this from last week. And, man, that's an emotional one as well.
Yeah.
You're like the Tom Rinaldi of the you're trying to get people to tear up a little bit. And I'm not going to do it, Steve. I'm not going to do it.
Is it Roy Firestone when what?
You're not going to do it, Roy. You're not going to do
it. Jerry McGuire.
Oh, man, Jerry.
Well, we Yeah, Tammy Peden says, last football broadcast, we're moving on to soccer. So,
no.
Although, I will say, if you have an interest in doing that, that's the place to be up in the press box when it's 20 below in a soccer game. Good grief.
Last night was a tough one, too. It's just an annoying rain last night. Yeah.
Woof. Well, 1 minute, 2 seconds left here in the game. Again, final game for these seniors. And
I think you ought to come out for a track meet and do the broadcast for that.
And there's a guy running, and he's running. And look, he's running.
To run.
And he's continuing to run. There's a guy that's jumping.
He's making a left-hand turn.
Guy jumps over the bar. And, that would be, man, talk about exercising futility.
I think there's a lot of parents that don't even want to be at a track meet.
Clayton Sebecki receives it at the 4-yard line.
Run it
Takes
back.
it back up the middle. And he's dragged down at about the 30-yard line. Get a little bit chippy out there.
Yeah.
A couple of extracurricular activity.
Show some class.
Yeah, some unnecessary stuff there by a couple of the Saints.
It's probably a bunch of scrubs in there anyways.
Got to make a name for myself, Coach. Inside a minute now. Lions, Austin Cosby in at quarterback. Clayton Sebecki out his last game as a senior. He's come up a little bit gimpy after that that kickoff return.
Yeah, the kid has done everything.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sure Coach doesn't want to have him back returning kicks. I'm sure he didn't want to have him out on defense at any time, but he's done both of those.
He's done it all.
Yeah.
Offense as quarterback. Like you said, defense as a cornerback. It's a pass here to Jet Goforth, taken out of bounds here on the near side.
Well, you can throw this film away and just start all over again next year for Coach Holland.
Yeah, I mean, talking with him and Coach Ware, a lot of this offense was designed, the play calling was designed around the personnel, and it's going to be a very different looking team next year because you're losing quite a few linemen. You're obviously losing your starting quarterback. You're losing, your starting wide receivers in Trigestead and Ben Wagner.
But you're getting more action for Charlie Bunch. You get more action for Noah Smith.
Walker Little.
When Walker Little's hurt, he's been hurt this year. And we've had a couple of the younger players that have been out that haven't had much time in. So, I mean, it's going to be a different team next year for sure.
Well, you heard Coach Wentz say, never once has Coach Holland ever used the excuse of, we didn't have a full spring or full summer. I mean, he's going to put your head down and you keep building. And to Jack's point, man, if you're listening, you've got a kid at Grapevine Faith, man, they need to come out and play football.
Yep.
We got to build this program up. Another pass here to Jet Goforth here on the near side. Stays in bounds, gets out close to a first down.
Yeah, and one other thing I'll mention, too, talking about Coach Holland, a lot of these younger kids haven't had any game experience. And, I mean, some of the coaching, just younger coaches, typically at the younger level, and getting a little more experience and the coaching staff when you make it to the high school level.
Yeah.
That'll help these younger kids out as well.
Yep. Well, that's a final 56-21. Saints over the Lions. They will move on in the playoffs. They will take on Legacy Christian next. And, again, we just talked about our appreciation for everybody that helped out. Mark Edwards on the camera tonight.
Oh, Mark Edwards. We forgot about him earlier, too.
Tom Hudnall's helped out on the camera this year as well. So
Matt Cosby is also
Matt Cosby. So, this is a tough one. But the Lions come back next year. We'll rebuild. But for the seniors, this will be their last game, and I know this is going to be a tough one for them. So, for Jack Wharton and Steve Anthony saying so long, we'll see you again next season. Final score here, 56-21. We appreciate you watching Grapevine Faith Football here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network.
On Instagram.